get back now. Take another knee and go home with a win. And the NFC East continues to perplex.
I'll tell you, that's a great way to put it.
To give us something to scratch our heads about as we move on through this 2020 season.
It's amazing when you don't turn the ball over and you run the football what happens.
That's what the Giants were able to do today. Run the football to the tune of 157 yards on the ground. And the New York Giants get a huge win, 27-17, the final in this one. Our producer, Mark Tallman, Greg Scopatoni, our director. Thanks to our entire crew from this field and Lower Oakland. This is Kevin Douglas saying so long from East Rutherford. Now time for a State Farm game break. Here's your benefit.
Welcome to the State Farm Game Break Show. All right, the New York Football Giants get another win. They're 3-7 now, but 3 wins, the most in the NFC East. We welcome you to the State Farm post-game show. Lots of good games to talk about. We're going to get you a little bonus coverage in just a bit, but America's Game of the Week comes your way after that. However, we've got to let Michael gloat for a little bit here. Hey, Michael's not gloating. Howie, who did you pick this today?
You know what I picked?
No, oh, who did you pick?
I picked the Eagles. It's the last emotional pick I made.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's the last emotional pick I make. I said earlier, it's the last time I picked the Eagles.
No, this is interesting.
Oh, it is.
It looked like the Eagles, everybody's getting healthy again. They won 2 in a row, and you're like,
But you know what I think is, though.
But, and not just picking the Giants, I watch the Giants, but, you said it. The Giants actually look like the best
I
team
told
in
you
the
that.
right now. You said that.
They're playing like the best
They
team.
have just, it hasn't been a matter of being of talent. In certain cases, it has been. But the Giants have been close in a lot of games, Tampa and all these other things. It's, at some point, you have to get over the fact of hoping to win and expecting to win.
The quarterback didn't make
And
mistakes.
the quarterback, the last few games, has not thrown the ball away and turned it over, and that's been the difference.
They're well coached, too. When Joe Judge is coming there and done with that team, they seem disciplined. Everybody's in the right place at the right time. This is a good football team for the future, I think. Right now, they're just a little bit short.
They seem to be getting better week in and week out. All right, a little bonus coverage for you. Green Bay trying to hold on against Jacksonville, up by 4 with 2 minutes left.
That's rookie Jake Luton had 3 come from behind wins at Oregon State in only his second NFL start. 2 touchdown passes and a touchdown run for Aaron Rodgers. Jags trailing by 4 with 2 timeouts. And the football in Packer territory. And James Robinson, who has over 100 rushing yards, picks up some more there. With Brock Heward and Greg Jacks, I'm Chris Myers, and wherever you're tuning in, the Giants just defeating the Eagles 27-17. Thanks for joining us.
These are the moments he lived for. Jake Luton grew up in Washington State, imagining Brett Favre. Here you go.
He's in the building. Trying to beat Aaron Rodgers. Incomplete. The rush was on. And making sure that's not grounding.
It's a great job by Kenny Clark identifying that they wanted to throw the screen. He saw the lineman peel off. He sees the running back, and he just runs straight to James Robinson there.
He's no dummy. You're not going to block me. There's a reason.
There's a reason. There's always a reason. But if I'm the Green Bay Packers right now, I got to try to get pressure up the middle. This is where Jake Luton has been comfortable stepping up into the pocket.
Do they bring extra pressure? No, it's a 4-man rush on Luton. And they get to him. It's a sack. Rashawn Gary. When they needed it the most. The double-digit underdog Jags threatening, and it's the Packers defense that holds them off.
This may be the biggest sack of Rashawn Gary's career. 3.5 in the last 2 years, and he just gets right underneath Juwan Taylor. Puts him on skates. We've seen a number of these Jags unfortunately falling down. It's meet at the quarterback between Gary and Smith. That's even better. Not having the blitz get home before.
But he's able to get that sack off the edge because they collapsed the pocket. Kenny Clark and the guys in the middle collapsed the pocket. So Jake Luton had nowhere to step up to deliver that ball.
All right, now you got 3rd and 16. If you don't get it all here and get the first down, do you want to get some of it to try maybe a field goal and an onside kick?
Gotta try to get something.
Rodgers doesn't get the football back if you can do that. Luton, it doesn't matter. He gets out of it. And then falls. It's a sack for the Packers and back-to-back plays. Good Preston Smith and a little Rashawn Gary credit for that one.
players that you love in these circumstances. Darius inside. Preston does a big-time job. They've wanted more out of 91, right? We've talked about that a bunch today. Yeah, a little shot to the head. That's not a penalty. And Luton can't quite be Brett Favre in that moment right there.
He looked like he was getting knocked around like a crowded elevator. And on 4th and 26, they use a timeout. Jacksonville is out of timeouts. A focused Aaron Rodgers has had an emotional day. Some highs, some lows, some frustration. He's had a better game, the rookie Jake Luton, as we saw in the last couple of series. A touchdown pass, an interception. He's been sacked in back-to-back ways. And the Jags had hung in there. They had a punt return, 91 yards, a team record by Keelan Cole. Defense has made some big stops. Packers use a timeout. A sluggish game, but one that has Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in front by 4. And here's the recap. 78-yard touchdown toss to Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Also, Devontae Adams has a touchdown catch, and Aaron Rodgers has run for a score.
Aaron Rodgers has been great, terrific in this game. You see him right here.
NFL Week 10 will see the Cincinnati Bengals and Pittsburgh Steelers meet for the first time this season. Thank you for tuning in and watching my live reactions play. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. As always, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Hit the thumbs up button, share hashtag NFL, chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers. Always greatly appreciated. In the meantime, before kickoff, we have some games currently wrapping up from the 1 o'clock window. CBS, due to the Masters this weekend, did not have a 1 o'clock game. So for the most part, there's only a few games here today at 1 o'clock, and for the most part, they're all about done. So Fox in my area, we had the Eagles on the road against the Giants, and we just saw Big Blue defeat Philly, and bonus coverage with Jacksonville and Green Bay, and Green Bay is going to hold on at home. 4-point win, 24-20. Aaron Rodgers out to take a few kneel downs and go Pack go. Packers going to get to 7-2, and Jacksonville fall to 1-8 before hosting the Steelers next Sunday. So I'll also have live reactions play next weekend of Steelers Jaguars at 1 o'clock, so be sure to tune in live right here on YouTube for those as well. Big weekend next weekend with NFL, college football, and professional wrestling, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. But like I said, for the most part, only a few games during 1 o'clock here today, and now, by the looks of it, yeah, this game's done and over with, along with the others. And we'll have, I believe it's 6 games in this 4 o'clock window now. So CBS, in my area at least, Bills, Cardinals, along with on Fox, Steelers hosting the Bengals. Weather going to be a factor as it is raining across the state. We'll see if that comes into play by any means. Now we got some more bonus coverage. The Washington football team, the Redskins, on the road up in Motown, taking on the Lions, and Detroit on for a game-winning 59-yard field goal, and it has the distance, and it's up and good, and the Lions just beat the Redskins on a 59-yard game-winning field goal. And Alex Smith and the Washington football team cannot believe it. Wow. So Matt Patricia going to keep his job for the time being. Matt Prater just kicked the game winner. Matthew Stafford leading his team to victory. Detroit at 4-5. Washington falling to 2-7, 30-27 your final score there. So for the most part, a somewhat exciting day thus far. But we got a few good games coming up as they go back to LA. Fox has America's Game of the Week, 3 of them. First with the Seahawks and Rams, that will be national TV, and then also the 49ers and the Saints and the Bengals and Steelers. As mentioned, the Bills are taking on the Cardinals as well on CBS, so we'll be flipping back and forth. But should be a good game with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, honestly. Pittsburgh at 8-0, first time ever in franchise history, coming off a win. What the hell was that? All right, little flicker. As mentioned, weather a factor right now in my area with some rain, and as mentioned, I'm assuming that'll be the same down in the Steel City for the Steelers and Bengals, but we'll have to see. Got some highlights now. The Bucs just beat the Panthers 46-23, so they're now 7-3. Teddy Bridgewater injured, so not a good sign for them. Looks like they'll be out of the playoff hunt moving forward. It'll be Tampa Bay and New Orleans as your two teams out of the NFC South. Green Bay, Minnesota's making a run. Detroit making a run now too with that win. Chicago with a few straight losses. They're still there though, so the NFC North is going to be Green Bay's. No doubt about that, I think. They'll come out with the division title there, but then it'll be interesting to see who's going to be that number 2, potentially as a wild card behind them, whether it be the Bears, Lions, or Vikings. We'll see as we now enter the second half of the season here in Week 10. Second half of the season for the Steelers because they played 8 regular season games, 16-game, 17-week regular season. Now, there are some discussions currently going on that, potentially we could get, if games are in fact canceled, we could get more teams added to the playoffs on top of the new format for this year that'll we'll see 7 teams in the AFC and 7 teams in the NFC, and then you just add in an extra wild card game for that, and then they'll take each other out to play the Super Bowl, of course, come February in Tampa. But some highlights here from these earlier games. So the Bucs victorious. We just saw the Giants beat the Eagles, along with the Lions beating the Washington football team, the Redskins. Now these games are about to kick off in a few minutes or so. Players warming up. As mentioned, with the Bengals and Steelers, Pittsburgh 8-0. It's been heart attack city the past few weeks. It's come down to final play 3 weeks in a row now. Hopefully that won't be the same today, mid-November, but hey, you never know. That's why they play the games. They're going to be taking on the Tiger King himself, the former Heisman Trophy winning quarterback from LSU, won a national championship last year as well, number 1 overall pick this past year in the NFL draft by Cincinnati, Joe Burrow. So Burrow and the 2-5-1 Bengals heading to Pittsburgh for the first time this year, take on the Steelers, who are coming off that Cowboy win by a few points last week. And for Pittsburgh, honestly, just moving forward, as mentioned, basically starting the second half of the season now for them at 8-0. They've had a bye week, early October compared to when they were supposed to have it last week, but with the scheduling changes over the past month and a half or so, for the most part, it's back to normal now, but we move on regardless. For the Steelers, at 8-0, first time ever, once again. Expect, come the second half of the season, starting off today, what we've seen in the first 8 games. And that's hopefully have a running game with James Conner, Benny Snell. Now, Anthony Tony McFarland, the rookie back out of Maryland, along with Joe Mixon on Cincinnati's offense. They're both inactive, will not be playing today. It's not like McFarland's really, been doing a whole lot as of late, but sometimes when they do give him the ball, he is making plays. So we'll see if that number 3 back for Pittsburgh, as Jalen Samuels will step up now, hopefully, as he's been playing a little bit better as of late now, too. If it came down to if they're going to go by committee, if they can't get a run game going with Conner or Snell, who's going to step up in the run game? But just hopeful for Pittsburgh to be able to run the football today, especially with weather potentially being a factor, as mentioned, with the rain. I'd expect a few turnovers too, honestly. by both of these teams. The way Pittsburgh's been playing on defense, if the offense can't get going early on, because for the most part it's been split. Sometimes they started out quick, and then tried to hold on and not blow a lead and lose. I mean, they're 8-0, so they haven't lost yet. So credit to them. But then also it's starting out slow, and the defense has to keep them in the game in order for them to make a play late and then end up winning, which they have done in all 8 games. They, as mentioned, haven't lost yet. So hopeful for a run game, and then get after Burrow, get pressure on the rookie quarterback. He hasn't played bad whatsoever this season, I thought. Both him, along with, the trio, I should say, the first 5 picks this past year in the NFL draft. It was Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, and Justin Herbert. And actually today the Chargers and Dolphins are meeting. So 2 rookie quarterbacks squaring off, and Burrow on the road taking on Pittsburgh. First meeting, they'll meet on Monday Night Football later on this year, the Monday night before Christmas, as Thanksgiving is a week from Thursday, this upcoming Thursday, as the Cardinals and Seahawks are about to kick off. Seattle on the road in LA take on the Rams. Cardinals hosting the Bills. Seattle will host Arizona on Thursday Night Football. Live reactions, play of that as well come Thursday night, so be sure to tune in live right here on YouTube. Next Saturday, Iowa, Penn State, now official for 3:30 Eastern Time. That'll be a 3:30 kick on the Big Ten Network. Live reactions, play live right here on YouTube. And then next Sunday, Steelers, Jaguars, and then WWE Survivor Series. But in the meantime now, we're about ready to kick things off down in Steel City at Heinz Field. Here come the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh about to host Cincinnati once more. We'll have fans in the stands at a limited capacity, of course. And Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma on the call once again for Fox. I believe they're on the call for the Eagles-Steeler game this time last month. And Pittsburgh, of course, won that game because they haven't lost yet. So, here come the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh out in the field. And, Ben Roethlisberger this past week, after a COVID issue after last week's game against the Dallas Cowboys, Vance McDonald testing positive. It doesn't look like he'll be playing today, but they placed a few players, including Big Ben, on the COVID-19 protocol list just to be safe, and then they took him off of that on Friday, then put him on the injured list yesterday because of the knee injury he suffered right before halftime last week. But he will play today. It's Big Ben Roethlisberger. He'll play today. There's no doubt about that. It's just a matter of course, he's been rested up since last week, but how good is he going to look? I mean, he looked pretty damn well in that second half last week. Didn't even look like he was injured right before halftime. But thank you for bringing up that stat. The Steelers have not lost at home to the Bengals since 2015. Tomlin's only lost 5 times overall in his 10-plus year head coaching career with Pittsburgh, nearing a decade and a half. It looks like the Steelers are going to get the ball. Yeah, Bengals won the toss to further option in the second half. Pittsburgh getting the ball first today. The Steelers back deep to receive, and we'll probably have first and 10 from the 25-yard line after a touchback of that.
His first win against an opponent with a winning record.
But Cincinnati honestly hasn't looked bad this season. I mean, they're 2-5-1. That tie should have been a win against Philly. So common opponents, of course, AFC North battle as the ball comes off the tee on the kickoff. So we're going to have to reset here. But the AFC South, or the AFC North, playing the NFC East and the AFC South this year. So common opponents, of course, with these two teams to this point in the season. Very windy. They have to bring somebody on to hold the football for the kickoff. So you can see the grass blowing. The uprights swaying back and forth already as well, and we're underway. Bengals kickoff right to left. Pittsburgh back deep to receive. Right at the goal line, here comes Ray McLeod out to the 15-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 10 Pittsburgh from there to begin today's ball game. First meeting today with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh once more. Don't honestly know what to expect. But like I said, with Pittsburgh, just keep doing what you're doing. You know, you're 8-0 for a reason. You haven't lost yet. And for the most part, you probably should be 10-0, undefeated, heading on into the Thanksgiving night matchup at home against the Baltimore Ravens. But we got this game and then the Jacksonville game to go before that, so don't want to too far ahead and, you know, jinx them by any means. So pass near side, incomplete. Eric Ebron, he'll be the number 1 today. As mentioned, I don't think Vance McDonald is playing with him being exposed to COVID-19, so they put a few other players on that list, and ended up you have to be off the list in order to play, so they took him off on Friday. And then whether you're on the injured list or not, game time decision for most players at this point in the season. You know, everybody's banged up. You know they are. It just matter how bad. So Ben playing, he's going to hit Deontay Johnson on a bubble screen, top of your screen, and he's going to get some yak yards on that reception. Big first down pickup for the Steelers. So 2 plays in, first down, Pittsburgh at home against Cincinnati. Last time these two teams met in Pittsburgh was on a Monday night, late September last year. And then around this time last November as well, Pittsburgh returned the favor and head out to Cincinnati. Out of the pistol now, Ben, 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. But the rivalry with these two teams as of late past, honestly, Ben's whole entire career, you know, as Ben hands off to James Conner and gets a few yards there. You have, you know, Carson Palmer. They went to Andy Dalton, and now they're at Joe Burrow at the quarterback position, the same Bengals are. And they've, for the most part, always had weapons on the outside. But regardless of what they do in the regular season, if they are even good in the regular season, they have never been able to get over that hump in the playoffs. And these two teams have met in the playoffs before, of course. We've had brawls, we've had fights. You know, Cincinnati, the Bengals, as people call them. Now they got the Tiger King, Joe Burrow, trying to save the city and save the franchise. Ball batted down at the line of scrimmage. It was intended for Eric Ebron, once again incomplete. So now 3rd down and 5 after Connor on the previous play picked up 5 yards on that run. So with 13:43 to play in the opening quarter, at 0, Pittsburgh on their opening drive from the 33-yard line, empty set out of the gun, left to right across the television screen, ready on a dial. And Ben, now as the play clock expires, going to go deep down the near sideline. Hasn't managed to chase Claypool, but a little too far, deep and out of bounds. So incomplete. One of the assistant coaches did catch it, but it's going to be incomplete on the field, and Pittsburgh is going to have to punt. So here comes Jordan Berry on to punt, as he returned a few weeks back after they cut him at the end of the preseason training camp, end of August, early September. Of course, there was no preseason, but they moved on from him, brought in Dustin Colquitt, cut him, brought back Jordan Berry, and 3rd or 4th game back for him now. Good punt, and Cincinnati on the return to the 34-yard line. Ball comes out, fumble, and it looks like Pittsburgh has it. So talk about turnovers. We have one not even 2 minutes in, and it's a fumble on a punt return by the Bengals, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have it. Steelers recover a fumble on the punt return, so okay, they go deep, it's incomplete. It's probably where they would have been at anyway, and then they punt because that was on 3rd down. And was he down though? That ball's out. That's a fumble. Pittsburgh has it. 1st down Steelers. So they punt. I mean, they did switch field pretty well. It was a decent return, but then Pittsburgh knocking the ball out on the punt return, and the Steelers then recovered. So Pittsburgh going to have a 1st and 10 now from the 30, should be the 32, 33 yard line. Somewhere between the 30 and the 35, I think. That's where he went down at. Just going to depend on where they spot the ball after the fumble recovery is. Of course, okay, yeah. 1st and 10 from the 32 yard line for Pittsburgh. Had a scrum there to get the football. Ben going to hand off now James Conner after the Steelers recovered the fumble. Yard for him. It'll be 2nd and 9 Pittsburgh. So run game for the most part. I mean, Conner 2 carries for 6 yards on. We'll say this is still the opening drive because we just had the punt in between, switch possession with some good field position now because of the fumble. So that's why I said, honestly, they go deep, don't get it, punt, fumble. They probably would have been in this area on the field anyway. So halfback draw, Conner up the gut. He's going to get about 6.5, 7 yards or so on that run. It'll be 3rd down and short, 3rd and 2 officially. So yeah, we'll say this is still the opening drive for Pittsburgh, even though it's not. But Cincinnati hasn't touched ball on offense, so fumbled on the punt return, and Pittsburgh, for the most part, should at least get 3 out of this now. If they don't convert 1st down here, they're in field goal range. It's 3rd and 2 from the 24 yard line. Boswell's got a good leg, but it does seem like it is very, very windy. You see on the sidelines as Ben just dumps it off, and no pickup on the play, stuffed to the line of scrimmage as it was complete to Juju Smith-Schuster. So 4th and 2, Boswell going to come on, but and hopefully he'll get the 3. But it is windy, you can tell, because the pants of assistant coaches and officials on the sideline are literally trying to blow off their legs. So here comes Boswell. He missed a few extra points last week, but then had the franchise record 59-yard field goal last week on the road against the Cowboys. Kick's going to be up and good, so the Steelers now lead the Bengals 3-0 here with 11:23 to play in the opening quarter. They capitalized off of a fumble on a Bengal punt return. So, as mentioned, we'll say on the Steeler opening drive, they settle for a field goal after the drive stalled twice on 3rd down. The punt, get the ball back though on the fumble, and then a few plays later, stall once again. But they get some points out of it. They get 3 with the field goal from Boswell. So, like I said, don't honestly know what to expect. Just Cincinnati's playing good, but Pittsburgh, regardless if they're starting out fast or not, they've found ways to win late. They're 8-0 for a reason. Only unbeaten left. So, like I said, if they just continue to play like they played, it'll be all fine and dandy. But if not, and you lose to a team that has 2 wins, as you almost did last week on the road against the Cowboys, and then you come home to take on the Bengals, who also have 2 wins, and then you're going to Jacksonville, who just lost to Green Bay. They still only have 1 win. That's why I said they probably should be, you would think at least, don't want to jinx them, they should be 10-0 entering Thanksgiving against the Ravens. But we got to let these 2 games play out, of course, before then. So we'll get there when we get there. But once again, thank you for tuning in and watching my live reactions, play-by-play live on YouTube of the Cincinnati Bengals and Pittsburgh Steelers. Coming up at halftime, we'll have first half stats and scores, along with taking a look around the rest of the NFL from those early 1 o'clock games that, like I said, honestly, weren't that good, but was some excitement late with the finishes. But for the most part, all the better games in this 4 o'clock window, I believe 6 of them as mentioned. And Sunday Night Football would be Ravens, Patriots, and then Monday night tomorrow night, the Vikings and the Bears in the NFC North, which is honestly going to be a interesting Monday night game now. With the way the Lions just won, they're 4-5. Packers, it's going to be their division in the North in the NFC. But then, like I said just a minute ago, who's going to come out as your number 2 and potentially make the playoffs as a wild card? Because the NFC East, we all know they're only going to get one team. Whoever wins that division is making the playoffs. Nobody else, because they all suck, won't make it. No offense to any NFC East team by any means, or if you're a fan of that team, or any of those teams for that matter, believe me, I think you guys can agree with that as well. But nonetheless, we'll get more into all the standings and all that too. And it's very, very windy. The ball falls off the tee once again, and now it's rolling all over the field. And Pittsburgh on to kick off. So we'll see what happens here. But hopefully it doesn't come down to the kicking game later on. But it probably will, knowing just with special teams, with the fumble on the punt return, and then the ball's falling off of the tees. A wobbly kick. Cincinnati. Okay, we got a safety. That's a safety. That is a safety. And the refs, how's that a touchback? That's a safety. The ref, the white capper, this is how windy it is. His hat just flew off. Yeah, it's been raining all day. But yeah, it's very, very windy now, like I just said. And then on that kickoff, wobbly right down the middle from Boswell. And the returner had some trouble. Ball almost rolled out of bounds back the end zone, but then he somehow got down, and they say he took a knee, so that's a touchback, even though he got tackled. I'd look at that. We got a flag, okay, false start on the first play of the game for the Bengals on offense, 5 yards, 1st and 15. This is probably as windy it's been in forever during a football game.
He's thrown for at least 300 yards in 5 of his first 8 starts. One shy of Andrew Luck's NFL rookie mark.
So it's going to be run, run, run if these quarterbacks can't air it out. Ball's going to be all over the place, just sailing. That's why I said turnovers could be a big factor here this afternoon. So Burrow at the quarterback position, incomplete pass far side. No Joe Mixon, so Giovanni Bernard can get the bulk of the carries when they're on the football. But then he's got 3 good weapons out wide with A.J. Green, Tyler Boyd, and the rookie out of Clemson, and T. Higgins. Boyd coming back to Pittsburgh where he played his college ball. And pass over the middle complete to T. Higgins. So that LSU to Clemson connection, even though the Tigers beat the Tigers last year in the national title game, they're now teammates in the NFL. And like I said, Cincinnati hasn't looked bad. I mean, the record, of course, doesn't say that. They're 2-5-1. But now 3rd down and 7 from 28. Burrow going to step up. He has all day to throw. Over the middle, it's going to be incomplete at midfield. And intended for A.J. Green. Edmonds on the coverage. All 3 receivers, actually, Green, Boyd, and T. Higgins are all right there at midfield. So he threw to one of his 3 receivers. I don't know, honestly, who he was targeting. It did seem closer to Green, but it was quadruple coverage by Pittsburgh trying to cover all those receivers. So, I mean, regardless if that was a safety or not, they said it was a touchback, of course. Cincinnati with a very, very quick 3 now. That's a delay game now. And it'll be 4th and 12 for the punt. We saw on Pittsburgh's punt a fumble by the Bengals, so just keep that in mind, for this, and of course for the rest of the game. I mean, it was punched out, but the way the weather is with the wind and even more potential rain, maybe, we'll see. It's going to be, and the ball's going to bounce at 35-yard line. Cincinnati going to down it. It's going to be run, and Ben probably again making more plays than the young rookie quarterback as he did last week against Ben Zucci. Now today against Joe Burrow. So, still early on. Honestly, not a good clear look, not a clear read of, just because they both had the ball only once on their opening drives and the fumble, and Pittsburgh's opening drive, they've only basically had one, like I said, long story short, because the fumble in between the punt. And we'll see what happens, but it still honestly should be a good game. Like, I'm expecting not low scoring by any means, average. Cincinnati can put up points, especially in the division. Okay, when they played the Browns, that was 35-30, and then 38-35 or something along that a few weeks back, as that was bonus coverage as well when they met in Cincinnati. But the Browns are 2-0 against the Bengals this year. Pittsburgh 1-0 versus Baltimore. They'll meet on Thanksgiving. First meeting tonight, this afternoon, with Cincinnati. They'll meet Monday night before Christmas, like I said, and then they'll also play the Browns to close out the year on January 3rd. But
deep sea driving, I see. Something like that. Well, here's something.
With all the weapons, that both quarterbacks have, wasn't expecting Joe Mixon to be out, even though he has been banged up. Thought he was going to play there. That's a blow to Cincinnati. We didn't even see a run by them. You have to be balanced. Pittsburgh looking balanced early on. So, something has always got to give, and something will eventually, but Pittsburgh in every single category, because they're undefeated, and just not because of that, but honestly, they're just a better team. Honestly, they could arguably be the best team in the NFL right now. A few teams on a bye this week, so not getting to see them. But it's still, in midway, through the season. So even if we know who's going to be making the playoffs, flag comes in, this is going to be a hold. Connor, no gain for him, and got pushed out of bounds. 10 yards, I'll replay the down. It'll be 1st and 20. Holding, yeah. I was on Eric Ebron, so Ebron as the go-to number one tight end today because of Vance McDonald not being active because of COVID. 2 incompletions to him, and then a holding on a run that didn't go anywhere anyways. So, you take a yard or 2 loss compared to the hold, or take the hold and back him up another 10 yards to take 1st and 20. They'll probably end up punting on this drive anyway, because you start out with a penalty, it's not a good sign. Like the drives, as Connor runs it, has nowhere to go. So credit to Cincinnati on defense. A yard for him there, so 2nd and 19. Update from South Beach. The Dolphins leading the Chargers 14-0. Miami's making a run, looking for their 6th win of the season. And New England's out of it. I think it's going to be Buffalo, who's on the road in Arizona. Hell, even if Buffalo stumbles, Pittsburgh's going to play them in about a month on the road up on a Sunday night. Miami could win that division, honestly. But I think both teams right now are going to make the playoffs, both the Bills and the Dolphins. just with how things are playing out. Ben over the middle completes to Deontay Johnson, so 3rd and 9, so they get back to the line of scrimmage there. But when you start off a drive with a penalty, you're just digging yourself a hole, and you're probably not going to get out of it unless you hit a deep ball, down the sideline or over the middle. Because even if you are still trying to establish your run game, the defense is just going to bring pressure and stop you, as we saw then a play later, then a few yards over the middle to Deontay Johnson on the completion. So Ben now from the 35-yard line, 3rd down and 9 from the 35-yard line. And it's going to be incomplete, almost picked off, incomplete at midfield. So 4th down, and you know what I say. Pittsburgh's going to end up punting here, and here comes Jordan Berry once again for the 2nd time. I doubt we're going to have a fumble like we did on the first time, but you never know. But, like I'm saying, still expecting a good game. I mean, not low scoring by any means, say 27-20, something along that. Pittsburgh for the most part, like I said, just a better team overall. But Cincinnati can make plays. They've been able to put up points, so I'm not going to be shocked by any means, especially Pittsburgh coming off of that, only 5-point win last week against the Cowboys, which of course should have been bigger. But if Cincinnati can do what Dallas did last week, and along with Tennessee and Baltimore the weeks prior, it's going to come down to the final play again. So you got to look at Pittsburgh as like, okay, you're 8-0, which is good. I'll take it, no doubt. Especially right now for myself, being a Penn State and Steeler fan, there's no in between. One team's winless and one team's undefeated. So it's 2020, but it is what it is. But if Pittsburgh is, and like I said, okay, just continue to do what you're doing. You're 8-0 for a reason. Like, you got to this point, you're undefeated, you haven't lost. Okay, which is good. But whether it's you start out good or start out slow and then you get back into it later, try not to blow a lead and lose it, they got to play better in the second half, it seems like, or play a better full 60 in order to, because people, I mean, regardless of what people are saying, but people are like, Pittsburgh's 8-0, yeah, but they're honestly not that good. Like, whether they got help from the refs in a few games, they couldn't beat, a few young quarterbacks. And I get it. I totally understand it. I mean, I'm a Steeler fan, and, I'm taking the 8-0, no doubt about it. But there is room for improvement by far for them, but that's also for everybody else in the NFL and in the world, for that matter, regardless of, what your situation is. So it'll be interesting to see, honestly, what the Steelers do today here. And with it being so goddamn windy, I wasn't expecting it to be this windy. I knew rain with the weather was going to be factored for a little bit, for the most part, and could, come back later. But it is so windy right now. Who knows? Because I don't think either of these teams have played in as windy of a game as it is right now in quite a while. And you don't really practice, for that or in those type of conditions, regardless of where you're at, whether you're outside or inside. Now, if you're outside, okay, and the wind's blowing during practice, so be it. But, they don't, they will turn on the fans, but they're not going to crank it up to however, fast the wind's howling right now, for God's sakes. Like, you can't even walk a few feet without, stumbling and, trying to catch yourself and keep your balance and move forward. So, Giovanni Bernard on the run. He got a few yards there. It'll be 2nd and 7. I mean, it's always a fun matchup. Talk about the rivalry with as many times as they've met, of course, in the regular season, twice a year because they're division opponents. Flag comes in. Burrow going to go deep down the near sideline. Has a man at the 45-yard line. It's incomplete. Intended for Tyler Boyd, former Clareton product. Played at Pitt. Has played with the Bengals his whole entire NFL career. False start. And Pittsburgh's going to decline. It'll be 3rd and 7. But all the times they've made the playoffs, you know, and like I said, Cincinnati just can't get over that hump, regardless of how good they are or how bad they are. Interesting that Pittsburgh declined that. 3rd and 7 from the 15. It's incomplete, far side. Joe Hayden on the coverage, and it'll be incomplete, 4th down. And now it's, you know, going to turn in old school smash mouth football, run the ball down your throat. Who's going to make more passing plays? But it's turning into a punt contest. So special teams going to play a factor, it looks like. Turnovers as well. And it's 3-0. And from the 40, Ray McLeod on the return out past midfield. And he's going to be brought down to the 47-yard line, it looks like. First down in there for Pittsburgh when we return from this upcoming commercial break. So as mentioned, coming up at halftime, first half stats and scores from this game. And then we'll also take a look around the rest of the NFL. So stick around for that. Thank you once again for tuning in and watching. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. The links in the description below.
Also check out Rocket Mortgage. From down payments to closing costs, it's easy to see what fits your budget. This is great. Thanks. Hey, Larry, can I get an autograph? Absolutely.
Come on, Dad. No ball matters.
If you need a home big enough for the whole team, Rocket can.
Is back. The cumin, the coriander, mix it with that fresh lime juice and that cilantro, and it just brings out those flavors. It's very tender. When you're cutting it, it's tender. When you're eating it, it's tender. It's bone steak.
It's Black Friday now, only at Target. This week, save on electronics, family apparel, TVs, and more. This week only, with new deals every week. It's Black Friday now at Target.
You don't know how this works, do you?
It's my first day. You coming?
So, yeah, just a silly mistake. I guess I look pretty ridiculous.
No one looks ridiculous, Bob. Progressive is always here for you with round-the-clock service.
Just so you know, next time you can submit a claim with our mobile app.
Good. Thanks again for rushing over.
Are you kidding? This is what 24/7 protection looks like. You smell like fish.
Sorry.
I was talking to Jamie.
I was in the Air Force for 13 years. One of my favorite quotes is from Peyton Manning: "Life is not shrinking, it's morphing into a whole new world of possibilities."
Jessica,
Goodness.
we appreciate all of your sacrifice and service.
Get the all-new Fox Sports app for all the news, social, live games, and video you care about all in one place. Plus, follow your favorite players, teams, and leagues. The all-new Fox Sports app. Download it now. For the second time in this first quarter, Steelers start a drive in Cincinnati territory.
Pittsburgh 1st and 10 officially from the 46-yard line. And they're going to run a reverse. Chase Claypool, Ben out there blocking for him. He's going to get about 13, maybe 14 yards on that run. That was technically a pass from Ben, as it was a forward lateral to Ray McLeod, who came in motion from the far side near side, and then he was the one who reversed at Chase Claypool to go down the far sideline. Ben out front blocking for him, and he got, like I said, about 13, 14 yards on that run. So 1st down and 10. Steelers now from, once again, the 32-yard line out of the pistol is Ben Roethlisberger with James Conner behind him back at the 40-yard line. And hand off to James Conner. Good blocking up front. He's going to get a first down inside the red zone down to the 16-yard line, 1st and 10 Steelers. So 2 quick run plays by Pittsburgh on this drive. Good block there by David Castro.
James Conner hits it right up the gut. If you ever saw James Conner run, he is downhill and he's looking for contact. I remember that his Pittsburgh college days and now doing it here with the Steelers.
So out of the gun from the 16, 3 wide, Conner to his left. Ben with a little trouble with the snap. He's just going to tuck it and run, but then he dives down right at the line of scrimmage. So he doesn't lose any yardage, and it'll be 2nd and 10. Another update. Rams hosting the Seahawks. LA on top by 3, 10-7 as they just began the 2nd quarter. So we'll check in next with the 49. 2nd and 10. Play clock winding down. Ben looking to throw. He's going to dump it off. It's complete. James Conner. Conner going to lower his shoulder. Picks about 4.5, maybe 5 yards there. It'll be 3rd down from around the 11 now. Got an injured Bengal. Good. I mean, he is moving. All right. Good sign there, but a little helmet-to-helmet contact there from Conner. But vice versa, if it's, the defender hitting the offensive player helmet-to-helmet, it's 15 yards targeting. So they're going to take another timeout. Injured Bengal. It'll be 3rd down for Pittsburgh when we return.
The world loves a hybrid. So do businesses. So today, they're going hybrid with IBM. A hybrid cloud approach lets them use Watson AI to modernize without rebuilding and bring all their partners and customers together in one place. That's why businesses from retail to banking are going with a smarter hybrid cloud using the tools, platforms.
His elbow on that bobble snap, he tried to run with it and then fell. When he landed, it was right on the elbow. He's rubbing that right now. Don't forget, that's the elbow that he had surgery on his 14 games last year. So that's something to definitely keep an eye out for Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers offense.
So back from the commercial break. Sorry for any technical difficulties with the buffering, disconnect, and reconnect. They're talking about Ben Roethlisberger and all his injuries, his knee last week, and then he was just rubbing his elbow, I guess, that he injured last year. He's going to air it out, back corner near side of the end zone, incomplete, intended for Eric Ebron. So they are going to Ebron a lot, but another incomplete pass intended for him. So you have Ben on that play where he had trouble with the snap, and then he decided to tuck and run. Yeah, it was his right elbow that he injured last year, week 2 at home against the Seahawks. Missed the whole entire season. I mean, he's been banged up a lot of times. Way too many times, I should say, in his career. But, name the game. Like, you're going to get hurt at some point. It's just a matter of when. Boswell for another field goal. Kick up and good. So then the Steelers lead 6-0. But he was just, by the looks of it, rubbing his right elbow that he went down hard on when he decided to tuck it and run. And, of course, didn't get any yardage on that. So it's one of those plays where if he would have threw it away, it'd be all okay. Like the play was dead from the start, and then you have something to that magnitude happen. Now it's not by any means that bad as of yet. So we know, but kickoff, that win once again a major factor, and wobbly from Boswell. Looked like it was going to roll out of bounds. Cincinnati was going to let it roll out of bounds, and then it stopped just dead at the 4-yard line, so they pick up and return it. And it'll be 1st and 10 Bengals from the 22-yard line, I do believe. If he even got out that far. First and 10 from 21. And Giovanni Bernard carried for him up the gut yard, bringing up 2nd and 9. Bengals trail by 2 field goals. It's 6-0 Pittsburgh.
Zach Taylor told us they spent 18 minutes together at the combine. Then they didn't see each other until they played golf in mid-July. And then they didn't see each other until training camp got underway.
But the interesting thing was Zach Taylor said he liked the process with Joe Burrow. He allowed him to be on Zoom, do everything besides the live contact, and he felt like that was the progression.
Burrow going to dump it off near side on the screen. It's complete, but they're going to lose about 4 yards. So 3rd and long.
Yeah, Kenny, Joe Burrow told us that working with Coach Taylor's been awesome. He said he couldn't ask for a better head coach to start his career. But I'm really interested in the relationship between the two of them.
Kenny Albert, John Vilma, Shannon Spake on the call for Fox.
He expects Burrow to tell him what he likes, and he
And like I said a few weeks back, normally when, and I thought this game was at 1 o'clock, and it was, but then I forgot that they moved to 4:25. But they never play on Fox. It's always on CBS when it's a Sunday game, Sunday afternoon game. They met on Sunday before, so NBC, and then they met on Monday night before as well, so ESPN. But I don't think until now, maybe once or twice before, very rarely do AFC North games air on Fox. AFC North versus AFC North, whether that be, Cincinnati, Cleveland. Now I get, okay, Thursday Night Football, it's head-to-head or simulcast with NFL Network, but on Sunday afternoon games, you don't see Pittsburgh and Baltimore on Fox. You don't see, regardless of whatever team it is, between Cincinnati, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore, you don't see it, so it's just odd. And then the kick time, later on, moving that, and I mean, this year's just been, as everyone knows, it's 2020, so we'll just leave it at that. Got a hold on the return, so Cincinnati punts again. And the 10-yard hold will back Pittsburgh up a little ways, but it'll be 1st and 10. Steelers. And, like I said, 8-0 for first time ever. The last 2 times they were the last unbeaten, they won the Super Bowl. And 26 teams since 70 have started 8-0. 15 of them made the Super Bowl and 8 of them won. So some good company for Pittsburgh to be in there now. With history on their side. But, like I said, starting out 8-0 for first time ever, not knowing what to expect today. And Ben going to go deep down the far sideline, right in the breadbasket for Deontay Johnson. Big first down pickup for him. First down Steelers. They've never been 8-0 before. You don't know how they're going to play the next game. That's what I'm saying. I honestly don't know what to expect from either of these teams today, even though, we know how they play. But just go out and do what they've done to get to this point and keep moving. Because you don't want to, fix something if it's not broken. Even though they could be playing better, going back to, they're 8-0, but a few games, it's like, what the hell are you doing? 1st and 10 from the 28, complete near side. That's James Washington. He's going to get down inside the 15-yard line before being pushed out of bounds. 1st and 10 Steelers. And another fast drive before, they stalled inside the 20-yard line, just like another team yesterday, I don't know how many times. And with the turnovers, that cost them. And Cincinnati with a turnover on a fumble. Pittsburgh capitalized with field goal. Another field goal by Pittsburgh now. Setting up shot 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Out of the gun, empty sets Ben Roethlisberger. Going to be caught. Touchdown Steelers. Deontay Johnson on a slant route over the middle. 12-0 pending Boswell's extra point. And fast start. Very fast start for Pittsburgh. They're getting back to what we saw for the most part, late September, early to mid-October. But the past 3 games, you go back to Tennessee, Baltimore, and Dallas, regardless of how they've started, all those games came down to the final play. Pittsburgh actually going to go for 2 from the 2-yard line, so 12-0. We're going to go for 2 to make it 14. Ben on a fade, far side, incomplete, time for Chase Claypool. So conversion no good, and now he's hurt, banged up. That's not a good sign. You should just kick the extra point. Because, that's exactly what happens. He's just banged up. I think he hit the ground a little too hard. Probably just got the wind knocked out of him. So Pittsburgh with 1:51 to play in the opening quarter. They lead the Bengals 12-0, following 2 field goals by Chris Boswell and then a touchdown pass from Ben Roethlisberger to Deontay Johnson. And that was Deontay Johnson's drive, as we saw Juju have a few of those last week, especially late in the fourth quarter, scoring that late touchdown, as Ebron did as well. Johnson with the big reception, right on the money from Ben Roethlisberger down the far sideline. Really didn't go to the run game there on that last drive, but James Washington then, and then Deontay Johnson over the middle for the touchdown pass. So 12-0 is where we stand with the Steelers leading the Bengals, and Cincinnati, for the most part, on every drive for them, they haven't been able to move the ball more than 10 yards. I don't even think they have first down, honestly. And if they do, they only have 1 or 2. Well, I don't even think they have that, though. Running the ball for them, yard here, yard there, not much. Burrow, 5-8 yard pass here and there, and then a screen that, was brought down the backfield for a loss. So it's punt for Cincinnati here in the opening quarter. So they got to get something going. Of course, they want to get back in it too, because they're already down 12-0 on the road against the Steelers, and the Steelers on offense are just going to be able to do what they've done in the first 14 minutes all day. It's going to be a long afternoon for Cincinnati. So, also as mentioned, we have the Bills and Cardinals on CBS. We'll get that game on here in a second. Searching for the remote. Where did that go? Oh, it's right there. So next commercial break, we'll get back to, or we'll flip it over to CBS. Normally when I can watch side by side, it's CBS on the main and then Fox on the other, but with the Steelers hosting the Bengals on Fox, that's main. So got to flip back and forth because CBS with all access isn't, or I don't have that to watch on the others. So, and I mean, Bills Cardinals isn't that bad of a game. Those two teams didn't play each other a month ago on that doubleheader Monday Night Football, but Buffalo hosted Kansas City in that loss as KC ran all over them. That was a game right before Bell debuted for the Chiefs, and then that's hard to believe, that was almost a month ago now. And then the Cardinals went to Dallas that night and absolutely blew out the Cowboys. As Pittsburgh was, at least all of us fans were hoping for that to happen last week, but came down to the final play right at the goal line. So 1st and 10, Pittsburgh jumped off sides there. That'll be a 5-yard offside against Pittsburgh. 1st and 5 now for the Bengals. I don't like this ref. I just don't like this ref. That was on Robert Spillane, who, he's played extremely well, filling in for Devin Bush. He's been making plays all game, but more so than not, on the final drive, making a big stop against Tennessee, Baltimore, and for the most part last week, Dallas too. So out of the gun, Burrow going to hand off, and then a stumble from Cincinnati. That's the former Oklahoma Sooner, Samaje Perine. And he got about a yard or so after the 5-yard offsides. The second and 4 for the Bengals with 1:22 to play in the opening quarter. 12-0 Pittsburgh. Empty, 5 wide from the 25. Pittsburgh going to bring 5. Burrow gets rid of it. It's caught. And T. Higgins out to the 47-yard line. So the first down for the Cincinnati Bengals. Excuse me, that was Tyler Boyd, 83, not 85. All three are very, very similar receivers. And Cincinnati's numbers are one of those other teams, too, that from a distance you sometimes, but for the most part you can. Sometimes, though, you can't, especially when they're running at full speed. Timeout by Burrow, play clock expired. So they got to call timeout there. Their numbers like overlap, and they're very, very similar. So 85 and 83. Yeah, Clairton High School. He was undefeated as a receiver. Went to Pitt. Clairton here in the state of Pennsylvania is damn good in the high school football world. Yeah, James Conner and Tyler Boyd, two former teammates at Pitt. And, you know, Boyd comes back to Pittsburgh at least once a year when the Bengals come to town. But a big pass complete from Burrow to Tyler Boyd. And a first down and 10 from the 45-yard line after the timeout. Ball comes out, another fumble. And speaking of T. Higgins, pass was complete to him. By far, it was a completed pass. And then he tried making a move, and it got stripped out, and Pittsburgh recovers. And they roll it. Pittsburgh Steelers football, 1st and 10, black and gold, under 10 seconds to play in the opening quarter. Sutton, he's not down. That ball is jarred loose. Good play by Cameron Sutton. He's been playing well lately. So the Bengals with 2 fumbles in the opening quarter. What did I say about turnovers? That's a fumble. Sutton with the strip. And then, did Hayden recover that? Pittsburgh recovered regardless. Don't know who exactly recovered that, but now out of the pistol, Ben going to just hand off to James Conner as Ray McLeod was in motion, and Conner going to go down back at the 36-yard line, so he's going to lose a lot on that play, but that brings us now to the end of the first quarter. So at the end of one, the Steelers lead the Bengals 12-0. 2 Bengal fumbles.
Take advantage of the Big Finish sales event today at Courtesy Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep in Altoona. The 2021 Ram 1500 is designed for serious performance with cutting-edge safety and security. Like all Ram trucks, the 2021 Ram 1500 is made to last. This luxury ride is not your grandfather's pickup truck. Score big with savings today on the entire starting lineup of Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep at your hometown auto dealer, Courtesy Motors in Altoona.
Looking to save a buck? How about $250 with Parkhome's Black Friday sale going on now? No waiting until Black Friday. Save big bucks now.
As mentioned, we'll flip on CBS, Bills Cardinals from the desert. And the Bills, how is this game already at the end of the first half? these kick off at the same time. Okay, maybe 10, 15 minutes prior, but Bills lead 13-6, but then the Cardinals just kicked the field goal. So 13-9 Bills on the road against the Arizona Cardinals with 1:24 to play in the first half. And now in Pittsburgh, we'll come back on Fox. It's 12-0 Steelers just beginning the second quarter. So this game a little behind the rest. And we might have another long early evening into 7:30, quarter late maybe, before Sunday Night Football. 2nd and 16, they switch ends of the field. 12-0 Steelers on top of the Bengals as we begin quarter 2. Ben out of the gun, ball 39-yard line after that 6-yard loss by Connor on the previous run to close out the first. Ben looking to throw, he's going to roll out far side, pump fakes, and then finds a man over the middle at midfield. And that is James Washington again. James Washington for about 14 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and short. So Ben kept that play alive and found a man open over the middle. So officially now 3rd and 2.
The Steelers are best in the league at taking the ball away. You've got to protect the football. Force them to earn their points, earn their field position. And frankly, that's the only reason the Steelers beat the Cowboys and they beat the Ravens, because of turnovers.
Empty set, 5 wide, play clock winding down. You better get it off. Man in motion. Maybe a false start. They give it to him, but Ben with a quick pass. It's batted down the line of scrimmage, incomplete. 4th and 2, and Pittsburgh, after all that, the fumble, the 6-yard loss to close out the first. Ben rolling out, finding Washington open over the middle for 14 yards, 3rd and 2. Bad down to the line of scrimmage, incomplete, 4th down. Here comes Bengals. Fair catch at the 9-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for them there when we return for their first drive in the second quarter, down by 12.
Kids, what do you want for lunch?
Pizza! Pizza! What about Subway? It's a good call and everyone loves it.
We raised our kids on it.
So it stopped the bickering?
They're just copying me.
Grow up.
Mom, knock it off!
Try the new Subway buffalo chicken or barbecue chicken.
Downey Unstoppable.
We met over a century ago. This country and this company. We've seen tough times, but we've learned we're better when we come together. A family-led business with 260,000 people working together, and plants, and offices, and dealerships across every state in this union, employing more U.S. hourly workers than any other automaker. We found the strongest lumber building, assembling more vehicles in America than any other automaker. We know we succeed when we build for the future. That's why we're making our most iconic vehicles electric. We are both at our best. This country and this company. We build for every single American. We were built in America. That's why we built for America.
Two of the best fighters in the world. Junior versus Garcia, Saturday, December 5th on pay-per-view. Buy now at foxsports.com/PPV.
Want more stats? Hey Siri, who has the most passing touchdowns in football?
Back in Pittsburgh, Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, Shannon Speak. The Pittsburgh Steelers undefeated. Only remaining unbeaten team in the NFL. First 8-0 start in franchise history. They lead 12-0
Bengals 1st and 10 officially from the 10-yard line.
for their 10-yard line. D-line in the backfield.
Burrow going to hand off, and Samaje Perine out to the 23-yard line. Former Redskin. Didn't work out in DC's, bounced around. Sort of found a home, though, with the Bengals as of late, as a backup. He's not that bad of a running back, but Burrow has a man wide open at midfield. T. Higgins, so he makes up for the fumble. And the biggest play of the ball game by far by either team, even over the Deontay Johnson deep ball down the far sideline earlier for Pittsburgh. Busted coverage by Pittsburgh. I don't know how the hell T. Higgins got that wide open, but he did. And then Minka Fitzpatrick on the stop. 1st and 10, Cincinnati now at the 22-yard line. Empty set out of the gun, 5 wide for Burrow and the Bengals. Play clock winding down. He gets it off. Burrow looking to throw again. Another completion. It'll be Tyler Boyd this go around for about 6.
And Joe Burrow, he referenced, and I agree with him, one of his best attributes is
how you get that wide open.
Reading the zone coverages, he does a really good job of that. That time he baited everybody, looked the safeties off, looked the nickel corner off, and got over the top of the defense.
So now 2nd and 5. Another empty set from the 17. Burrow stepping up. Thought he was going to tuck and run there. No, he has a man open the 10. And then, okay, 1st and goal now at the 10 for Cincinnati. Completion to Samaje Perine. He honestly should have, and I thought he was going to, should have ran it. He probably would have gotten the end zone. Talk about Niners and Saints from New Orleans. That game last year came down to the wire. We'll see if it does again today, as the 49ers and Saints are all tied up at 10. 1st and goal from the 10 now for the Bengals, trying to get back in this game on the road, down by 12 against the Steelers. And Burrow over the middle, incomplete. Don't know who he was thrown to there. There was no one there. 2nd and goal.
The Bengals need to go back to the run game. You've gone in an empty package.
Yeah, they do.
Package is as good as anybody else's around the league. They've really developed it. Not just
You have to be balanced in order to win. I don't care who you are, you know, how good of play calling you are, you know, what team you're on, whatever the circumstances are. You have to be balanced. You have to be able to run the football. You got to be able to block up front for one, but you got to be able to run the football and then open up the play action and rely on your defense. Pittsburgh might jump off sides there again, but they let it slide. 2nd goal from the 10. Burrow going to hand off again, and it'll be Giovanni Bernard. Gio to the 2-yard line for a pickup of 8. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 2. Cincinnati right on the door. Big hit by Minka. And then Vinny Williams came in to make the stop as well. But Cincinnati right on the doorstop, trying to punch it in. Burrow going to fake it. He's going to tuck and run near side, rolling out. And then he's just going to throw it away and complete out of bounds. So Pittsburgh, with the pressure, they probably should have ran it there. 3rd and goal from the 2. He probably would have got in. But no, let's run some play action. And no and open, good coverage by Pittsburgh. They brought pressure then on Burrow. Throw it away, incomplete. Got himself for a field goal. But we saw with Pittsburgh's opening drives, even after big plays, you know, drives stalling inside the red zone, settling for field goal. So Cincinnati now in the same boat. They're actually going to go for it. 4th and goal from the 2. I mean, why not? I get it. I mean, I don't understand empty set 5 wide, but here we go. It's probably going to be a fade. Burrow slant over the middle, caught, touchdown Bengals, and T. Higgins for 6. So they score out of it. Like I said, I get it. You go for it. You score, hopefully, which they did. But if you don't, Pittsburgh's got to drive the length of the field. with the goal line, the end zone behind him. But Pittsburgh with a touchdown given up on the pass from Burrow to T. Higgins. So both, as the extra point's going to be up and good, 12-7. A 12-7 score with 10:37 to play in the first half after Randy Bullock's extra point was up and good. So 12-7 Steelers over the Bengals as Cincinnati cuts the lead to 5. But you look at Cincinnati on offense. I mean, the run game not bad with Giovanni Bernard and Swanee Piron, no Joe Mixon, like I said. But Burrow airing it out. They honestly don't have a tight end since Uzmo went down early on in the season with torn Achilles. He's done for the year. A lot of injuries this year in the NFL, like I've said. Way too many injuries for one, but it's just one of those seasons. It's, too many injuries, too many missed kicks, too many penalties, too many missed penalties, or too many bad calls from the Zebras. But you look at Burrow airing it out, we haven't said A.J. Green's name other than maybe once on their opening drive, as that was that pass over the middle. He had all 3 targets at midfield, and then it was triple, quadruple coverage, and it fell incomplete, and they had to punt. So, first time they didn't have to punt here this afternoon results in a touchdown. But Burrow's going to Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins more compared to A.J. Green. Don't get why A.J. Green's still there, but maybe they'll work everything out if Burrow's going to be the guy, which he will be moving forward. We all know that. But the situation is A.J. Green going to want to stay there, move on? They've been, whether he's been requesting trades, they've been trying to trade him, cutting him. This talk's been going on for a few years now. And, until it happens, just shut up about it. Like, it'll happen when it happens, if in fact it does happen. But who knows? He could be staying put. But you got to give credit to the Steeler defense though too. They're covering him pretty well. But Burrow, in the meantime, he knows somebody's going to be open. And he's got other targets. That's the thing with all these offenses nowadays. You have how many weapons, per team at running back, wide receiver, and tight end for all these quarterbacks to throw to. So regardless if somebody's covered, somebody's going to be open. It's like just whatever play you're running, just get the hell open. I'll get you the ball. Wonder how Antonio Brown played this afternoon. The second game for him with the Bucs, as they got blown out last week on Sunday Night Football against the Saints, and then they just blew out the Panthers. So.
He's probably going to have to offer pay T. Higgins fine as well. I think we just dry snitched on him. Well, there was no flag, though.
Okay, there's no flag, but they're complaining about the Tony Gonzalez, Jimmy Graham, among others. Now T. Higgins celebrating with the dunk on the goalpost following the touchdown reception. Cincinnati on to kick off. Touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 Steelers from the 25-yard line. It's 12-7 here in the second quarter. 10.5 to play before halftime. Ben, quick slant over the middle, incomplete. Jennifer Juju Smith-Schuster. He, right now, honestly, could be off the races if, in fact, he would have caught that. It was actually a good play. They bring up Jonathan Vilma and Ben Roethlisberger again back to 04 draft. Like I said, Kenny Albert, Vilma were on the call for Eagles Steelers a month ago. And now here, Bengals come to town. Here we are again. And you can tell they are socially distanced in the broadcasting booth. More than 6 feet apart. But, hopefully everyone's staying safe. Second out of 10, empty set 5 wide for the Steelers. Ben bubble screen complete. It's Ray McLeod. Ray going to get to, we'll say 26-yard line, 27 maybe for a few yards. Third down. Ray's actually, honestly, as of late, I mean, Chase Claypool, he got hurt on that 2-point attempt. I haven't seen him since. He's in there, but they haven't gone to him. And they haven't gone to Ebron since Ben's targeted him early on, a few incompletions. No drops by any means, but just incomplete passes. Another shotgun formation. Juju's had a quiet year, honestly. Deontay Johnson's are the 2. And then when Claypool's playing well, as he, for the most part, is again here today, completion to him, complete first down Pittsburgh. Ray's turned into that number 4 receiver, in a sort of a tie with James Washington. But Ray's also good in the return game, return punts and kicks. And he's honestly come out of the woodwork for the Steelers. Young receiver, receiving group as a whole. I don't think there's anybody above the age of 25 years old. So, as Ben hits Juju Smith-Schuster for a big first down pick with 35-yard line, I mean, Ben wants to stick around and play, or regardless if he retires or they draft somebody or sign somebody in free agency, which next year, honestly, depending on what happens the rest of this year, say Pittsburgh, does well after the regular season. Don't want to say it, but whether they win or lose after that, I think you guys can understand what I'm trying to get at. If Ben retires, there's going to be a good group of potential free agent quarterbacks and then draftable quarterbacks that Pittsburgh could bring in. I wouldn't mind having a few of the potential free agent quarterbacks that they could sign over, Josh Dobbs and Mason Rudolph and Doug Hodges. We'll see what they do, but we're still only halfway through the season, so we'll get there when we get there. Come after the Super Bowl. Got a 15-yard personal foul on the Bengal defense. So after the completion of Juju Smith-Schuster, Ben over the middle on the pass got hit hard on his right knee, and then the flag comes flying in. Dirty play, a little bit maybe. He's like, maybe, I don't know. Trying to laugh it, shrug it off. First and 10 Steelers now from the 20-yard line. Pittsburgh looking to throw. Ben over the middle. That's pass interference. Thank you. Flag comes in. Intended for Chase Claypool. Now it's a matter of, was it PI right at the goal line or 1-yard line or in the end zone? And they'll say at the 5 probably. So it'll be half the distance from there. It'll be first and goal Steelers from the 2.5-yard line probably. Or a spot foul, so first and goal from the 5. And Pittsburgh knocking on the door, trying to extend this lead now. And because of the penalties, Cincinnati shoot themselves in the foot. Get back to the run game. Give it to James Conner. Or maybe run a end around reverse to Claypool if you get to the 1. Ben looking through, has a man wide open, throw it to him. Ben gonna tuck it and run and then airs it out. It's gonna be incomplete. Intended for Chase Claypool. Second goal now from the 5. So good protection up front. Able to block for Ben here this afternoon, as always for the most part. And don't really see Ben trying to tuck it and run, when he's rolling out. But then he got rid of it at the last second, right through the hands of Chase Claypool. He's still a good running quarterback if needed, but, he's not 24 years old anymore. mean, he's not running as he used to, diving for the end zone. Under center now, and they run that end around to Chase Claypool from the 5-yard line, and he's going to lose 3 yards. They've ran that I don't know how many times this year. So good play call. I mean, that's what I said. You know, I was expecting that, honestly. I think obviously Cincinnati was too. They stopped him for a loss of 3. Stiff arm, and then Chase Claypool brought down out of bounds. So it'll be 3rd and goal now from around the 8-yard line. Good play call. I mean, that's worked I don't know how many times. Nobody's been able to stop it until just now. I mean, even if Pittsburgh can just settle for a field goal here, I'll take it. You know, after all the penalties by Cincinnati, a few big passing plays by Ben on this drive. Go up 8-15-7. Ben going to air it out. Caught, touchdown, Steelers. Juju Smith-Schuster in the back of the end zone. No flags. Boswell on for the extra point. And the Steelers now lead 18-7. But as I was saying, just settle for the field goal maybe. Go up 8-15-7. Cincinnati would, you know, have to score a go for 2 to tie it up 15 apiece. But Ben on that play, as he got hit hard going down late, he got rid of it though. Just prior, right before. Juju Smith-Schuster wide open, and
toasted cheddar chalupa and thought, wow, this is so good. I sure hope Taco Bell never takes it away. Because why would they do that? It's got cheddar toasted right on the shelf, for goodness sake. They wouldn't do me like that. Well, listen, I'm sure if for some reason it did leave the menu, they would definitely bring it back. Further me attack. Wait, what? The cheddar toasted shell you love is back with Taco Bell's $5 toasted cheddar chalupa box. Elimination leads to the most emotional reveal yet.
You just got through a very difficult time, and we love you so much.
Wednesday on Fox. Today's game is sponsored by Taco Bell.
Juju with the touchdown. He then threw the ball into the crowd to a Steeler fan wearing a Juju Smith-Schuster jersey. And so that guy just got a game ball, a touchdown game ball at that from Ben Roethlisberger to Juju Smith-Schuster. So.
And the Bengals will start from their 25-yard line. So Cincinnati settled down on their last drive.
19-7. Bengals getting the ball back. Their last drive, best of the game so far for them. After punt. And, I mean, if they can just be balanced as they were, run the football. You know, T. Higgins got wide open on a play that continued the drive. But if Burrow has time to throw and they're balanced and run the football with their two-headed backfield with Giovanni Bernard and Swansea Pirine, you know, they don't need to be, great in that category, but, just run the football, be balanced. I get you're down 12 again, but the last time you're down 12, you drove and scored. And you cut it to 5. We'll see if they can cut it to 5 again at, say potentially 19-14 or even 19-10 if they have to settle for field goal. But regardless of Cincinnati's, 2-5-1 this year, they're better than the record. The future's going to be bright for them, along with the Bengals, or the Browns, excuse me. Bengals, Browns, I mean, the Steelers are still going to be here. And then with what Baltimore is doing with Lamar Jackson, even if, the defenses know exactly what play is coming or not, like, honestly, the AFC North could get to a point again where all 4 teams potentially, because for the most part over the course of the past 20 years, it's been 3 of the 4 with the Browns, being the lone exception because they haven't been good up until now. You know, could get to the point where all four teams are as good as, say, with how the NFC West is right now. I get the 49ers are a little banged up, but still coming off the Super Bowl. Cardinals are playing the way they're playing. You got the Seahawks and Rams meet today. So Burrow, in the meantime, over the middle, a few completions, setting up a 2nd and 2 for the Cincinnati Bengals near midfield. So drive off to a good start for now. And let's get back to the run game. Burrow out of the gun, 3 wide. Yeah, 2nd and 2 from the 48-yard line. Man in motion, he's going to hand off. First down run for the Bengals. And on the Steelers defense, flag comes in. The linebacking core, that linebacker, that position, we've got a hold on Cincinnati. They'll replay 2nd down. It'll be 2nd and 12 after the 10-yard holding. Quiet day so far. Another update with the 49ers and Saints. Drew Brees trouble with the snap, but then finds Alvin Kamara wide open near side on the screen. And as they near halftime, the Saints lead the 49ers 17-10. No, but the linebackers for Pittsburgh, quiet game so far at this point. 2 turnovers, I get. 1 on defense, 1 on special teams. Burrow over the middle, incomplete on the slant. Cincinnati, I can understand if you want a penalty on that, but you're not going to get it. Good no call, probably. Sutton on the coverage. And it'll bring up 3rd and 12 following the completion from Joey Burrow. But haven't heard from TJ Watt. Haven't heard from the new linebacker that Pittsburgh just acquired from the Jets in Avery Williamson, who did dress last week against the Cowboys, but really didn't do a whole lot. Still getting inserted into the game plan. Pressure, and Burrow's going to go down. So as soon as I say that, TJ Watt with a sack. As the pocket collapsed, Bud Dupree was coming up the gut, coming right up the middle, and then Burrow stepped to his left, had nowhere to go. TJ Watt off the edge, and TJ Watt going to get credited with his first sack of the afternoon, and the sack streak for the Pittsburgh Steelers will roll on. That'll continue. So Cincinnati on to punt. Pittsburgh going to get the ball back with everyone's favorite number, 4:20 to play in the first half. Almost blocked the punt. And the ball going to roll out of bounds off of the Bengal punt at the 16-yard line. So 1st and 10 Steelers. From there, you take a look at the AFC North standings. Pittsburgh at 8-0. And then both Baltimore and Cleveland with 6 wins. Cleveland victorious earlier today at home against the Texans. Baltimore on the road tonight, Sunday Night Football against the Patriots. So easily the North could get 3 teams into the playoffs, but Pittsburgh playing Cincinnati for the first time today. They still have to play Baltimore once, Cincinnati once, and Cleveland once. They'll play Baltimore again on Thanksgiving night. They'll play Cincinnati on Monday Night Football before Christmas, and then they'll close out the regular season on January 3rd on the road in Cleveland. There's still a lot of football to be played. Ben looking to throw. Has a man open at the 32-yard line. It's complete. First down Steelers. And that is Deontay Johnson once again to the 34, 1st and 10 Pittsburgh.
Going back to the division, we saw the record, 6 wins, 8 wins, and then at the bottom is Cincinnati.
So the sack by TJ Watt, forcing the punt. Pittsburgh will play later. First down completion from Ben Roethlisberger and Deontay Johnson, but linebackers on defense, we'll get back to it more when they get back out on the field, but they step up a little bit more. I mean, they just did, but and I guess it's still early, and Ben almost picked off on the comeback to Deontay Johnson. A little high for 18, but he says it's on him. My bad. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 now. Pittsburgh. 3.5 to play in the first half. You know, you have Spillane, who's filled in for Devin Bush extremely well. You know, Alex Highsmith, the rookie out of Charlotte, who's played extremely well as a rookie backer this year when he's been in. You know, he's getting a lot of time on special teams. I mean, they both are. But Pittsburgh from top to bottom to the core and all phases, every aspect of the game at every position is loaded. You know, secondary's been banged up ever since Troy Polamalu retired, but the past year and a half or so, you know, ever since they traded for Minka, more so than not this year as a whole, you know, they're 8-0 for a reason. Pass complete over the middle to first completion to Eric Ebron here this afternoon. He's been targeted about 10 million times, but first catch by him. First and 10 Pittsburgh now at the 42-yard line, empty set, 5 wide out of the gun with 2:45 now to play in the first half. Pittsburgh all 3 timeouts. Pass going to be complete near side. Deontay Johnson once again first down run and catch and run for him inside the red zone, looks like right on outside 20 maybe. But
116 yards for Johnson and a touchdown. Going back to Ben Roethlisberger.
The secondary this year just playing extremely well. I mean, the turnovers are helping here today. By give it away. So yeah, first and 10, 25-yard line, right outside of 20. Still a lot of time though, and 3 timeouts to score here before halftime to extend the lead. It's 19-7 right now. That'll be final play though before the 2-minute warning. And James Conner on another run, and he loses about 5 yards. So early on they were able to run the football, it looked like, and then now not necessarily getting away from the run. Conner just hasn't been able to run the ball as effectively as he's been able to so far this season. But last week in the second half, hell, he didn't touch the ball until 2 minutes to play in the game. You know, after a somewhat decent first half. And no Benny Stone today. No McFarland, of course, because he's inactive. But then no Jalen Samuels either. So they're running the ball. You know, it's James Conner, and only James Conner for the most part. You know, they had the end around Chase Claypool that I called. But for the most part, it's Ben airing it out. It is. And, you know, somebody's going to step up, you would think, on Cincinnati's defense and secondary to start making some plays. Because if Ben's going to be able to hit his targets, whether they're wide open or not, left and right, you know, for the remainder of this game, and you already have a 12-point lead, and they're, you know, in business right now, 2 minutes to play. It'll be second and long following the loss on that previous run, but potentially extending the lead before halftime. You know, maybe whatever it's going to be, 20 points maybe. 20-point lead at halftime. Yeah, Cincinnati's going to get the ball to begin the second half, but if they can't get anything going on offense, it's going to be a long afternoon. It's going to be a long second half. Would like points on this drive, just be safe. I mean, they get the 22-7, okay. That's 2 possessions. You know, they get to 25, 26, 27. You know, depending on what they do with the point after attempt. Heading on into halftime. All right. Just like I said earlier, some games they start out fast, which they have today, but then they got to hold on and try not to blow it late. So hopefully that doesn't happen. And then the other ones, it's start out slow and then, you know, get back in it, or if they do early second half like they've always done, try not to blow that lead, you know, which they've almost done. So 19-7 Steelers, 2 minutes to play in the first half. It's second and long. From the 30, Ben going to go deep down the far sideline, has a man, and it's almost picked off. Incomplete. 10 for Deontay Johnson again.
Jesse Bates having an outstanding season on his Bengals defense. Jesse Bates,
raved about how he's been able to cover ground.
A little underthrow by Ben.
Look, he was coming from the middle of the field. Ball's a little underthrown, but he's still able to make
A little underthrow at the 5-yard line.
I love the excitement.
3rd and 15. Just run something over the middle. You know, get 10 yards. You get first down, okay, keep the ball here. Okay, Juju for 2 yards, so Boswell going to have to come out from the 28-yard line for a field goal. See if Cincinnati calls a timeout. They have 2 remaining, so they'll have 1 left. They call another one with a minute and a half to be able to drive to get back in it before halftime and then get the ball to begin the second half. So from the 28, it'll be about a 45, 46-yard field goal for Boswell. He's 2 for 2 on the afternoon so far today. The franchise record last week on the road in Dallas, but that was inside. Back outside today in the wind. But 2 for 2 today shouldn't be a problem, you would think. But here comes Chris Boswell. Don't want to jinx him, but 45, 46 yards to make it 22-7. Flag comes in. Boswell's kick's going to be right down Broadway, up and good, but we'll see what the flag is. If it's on Cincinnati, just decline it. Take the points rather than re-kick. Now, if it's on you, you're going to have to re-kick, and it'll be about a 50-yarder.
Sugar Bowl back in 2007 with Terry Bradshaw and Howie Long, just spending those 3 or 4 days around both guys, but and I know will have the opportunity to spend some time around Terry now over on the Fox Sports team. It's just so much fun.
I mean, we can make it fun, Kenny. I can put in my contract that we have to have some golf clubs up here. We have to have a little fake green. Start doing a little golfing while we're calling the game. There you go. We can make it exciting.
Cincinnati going to return this from the goal line, and they're going to get up to the 23-yard line. So there's been a few kicks right at the goal line, and they're in a situation where they really can't take a knee, but then they return up to around the 22, 23-yard line, and so they lose about a yard or so maybe, from taking a knee for a touchback first down 25. So Bills with an update here on the road in Arizona, leading 23-9 over the Cardinals. So Arizona in a slump, having one of those games, whereas Buffalo on the road out west again. They went and beat the Raiders earlier this year. They're beating the Cardinals right now. They're about 10 minutes to play in the third quarter, and hell, we're not even at halftime with the Bengals and Steelers. But from the 23, 1st and 10, Burrow over the middle, complete to Giovanni Bernard. It'll be a 1st and 10. Ball out to 35, another empty set 5 wide. Burrow pump fakes. It's caught at the 40, and then Boyd's brought down right away. It'll be pick up the 5, 2nd and 5. Slant complete. 1st down, Bengals at 48. So under a minute to play. Steelers lead Cincy 22-7. Burrow complete again. And a missed tackle. T. Higgins gets inside Steeler territory. Big 1st down pickup. They got 1 timeout. We'll see if they call it. And they do. Okay, 29 seconds to play. So moving forward, they'll have to get up and clock it. They'll have to spike it, get out of bounds. They're not going to be able to stop the clock, and I'm sure as hell Pittsburgh ain't going to stop it for them. So, good drive thus far for Burrow and the Bengals. I mean, pass completion here, there, and everywhere in between, moving the ball on downfield. And it'll be 1st and 10 Bengals from the 30-yard line, it looks like, after a timeout. 1st and 10, Cincinnati. Ball 35, so 5 yards off there. 1st and 10. Good drive, as good as their touchdown drive earlier. Burrow going to take a sack, though, back at the 48-yard line, and T.J. Watt once again, for the second time here in the first half, turned down for Watt. They're going to have to spike it. Cincinnati clocking the ball, 2nd and 22. They have 12 seconds. And a rookie quarterback, mistake by Burrow there. You do not take a sack in that situation. Yeah, he just did. And they had to hurry up, get back, and spike it. And T.J. Watt just got right off the right tackle and right guard and took down Joe Burrow all by himself. So now Pittsburgh going to call a timeout just to be safe. They got 3 of them. Might as well. But the Steelers with 2 fumble recoveries. Steelers with 2 sacks. They lead by 15. It's 22-7. And I mean, honestly, Cincinnati plays as well as they have on their touchdown drive and this drive before that sack, and they don't give up the sacks or the fumbles. It's pretty even right now with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh at the end of the first half. But we still got 30 more minutes to play. From the 46, 3rd and 22. Burrow going to step up, looking to throw, rolling out far side. He just dumps it off, and then it's dropped, incomplete. So they got a 4th and 22 now with 6 seconds. So it's Hail Mary time.
4th down for Cincinnati. We said this is the best defense that Joe Burrow's faced all season long.
You know, welcome to the NFL, kid.
He gets out there now. Remember, he's really good.
Oh, the tight end Sample should have had that. Simple dump off, and then he tried to make sure he was still in bounds while he caught it, and then he dropped it going out of bounds. So incomplete, 4th and 22. Yeah, it's Hail Mary hook and ladder time now for Cincinnati, and Burrow limping a little bit as if he's banged up from those 2 sacks from T.J. Watt and being hit. Many times he's been hit today. Slant over the middle, it's caught, and the time's going to expire as Tate was the intended target, brought down after the reception. So it would have been turnover on downs if there was any time left. But to close out the first half, the Steelers lead the Bengals 22-7. 22-7. 22-7. 7. Steelers on top of the Bengals. 22-7 is your halftime score, with Pittsburgh leading the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. Get some first half stats and scores shortly. We'll check in with their highlights first off. Seahawks and Rams. Both these teams, for the most part, will probably make the playoffs. Andrew Whitworth injured. Not a good sign there for him. Who knows? His career could be done. The Rams lead the Seahawks, so 17-13 at the half. And then we last knew it was Saints 17, 49ers 10. Still is, so the Saints lead the 49ers 17-10 at the half. Bills, it was 23-9 just a minute ago. Buffalo leading. They're bringing out some trick plays. Handoff from Josh Allen, and then Josh Allen on the receiving end of that touchdown from his wide receiver. So Buffalo 23-9 on the road, leading the Arizona Cardinals. Silver and black. Raiders hosting the Broncos in the AFC West showdown. Raiders have been quiet as of late, but they lead 13-6. They're going to be right on the outside looking into, right on that cutoff line for the playoffs potentially, along with the Dolphins, Chargers in Miami taking on Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Herbert versus Tua, and Miami leads 20-14 midway through the third quarter, almost at the end of the third quarter actually. So those are all the other games that are currently going on. So like I said, about 6 total for this 4 o'clock window. You add them up and do the math. But then from earlier, Bucks put up 46 after putting up only 3 last week. If only they would have done that last week against the Saints, that Sunday game would have been damn good. Game-winning 59-yard field goal from Matt Prater, defeating the Redskins watch football team 30-27. We'll check in with the first half stats and scores now with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, and then the rest of the NFL during this week 10, mid-November, a week and a half before Thanksgiving. So hopefully everyone, when the holidays do in fact roll around, will have a happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas. But nonetheless, in the first half for Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, Joe Burrow, he's been sacked twice. However, he's 16-25 for a $189 and a touchdown to T. Higgins, who has 6 catches for 102 yards. So 102 of those 189 for Burrow have gone to T. Higgins. And then 38 of them have gone on 4 catches to Tyler Boyd. A.J. Green's been targeted a few times, but has no catches for 0 yards. So Burrow 16-25 for 189 and the score. Samaje Perine leads Cincinnati rushing, 2 carries for 15 yards. Giovanni Bernard, 4 rushes for 14 yards. They need to run the ball better in the second half, as does Pittsburgh, as James Conner only has 7 carries for 19 yards. But Ben Roethlisberger has been able to throw for 243 yards in the first half, 17-27 for 243 and 2 touchdowns. 1 to Deontay Johnson, the other 2 Juju Smith-Schuster. Cincinnati also receiving Tate, 1 catch for 19 yards, Bernard 3 of 14, and then Sample has that 1 catch for 9 yards, as well as does Perine for 1 for 7. And then with Pittsburgh, as mentioned, Ben 17-27, 243 through the air, 2 scores. Connor 7 of 19. Deontay Johnson 6 of 116, so 6 catches for 116 yards for Deontay Johnson and a touchdown. Juju 436 on the score. James Washington also has 2 catches for 30 yards. Claypool only 1 of 29. Eric Ebron 1 of 24. And then Connor 1 of 4 and Ray McLeod 2 of 4. But Cincinnati has those 2 fumbles. Pittsburgh capitalizes off of the first with a field goal. Boswell with 2 other field goals. And then Ben with 2 passing touchdowns. And Burrow with the passing touchdown as well to Higgins. So that's where we stand at. It's 22-7 at the half. Steelers leading the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. Also, though, today in the National Football League, as mentioned, the Browns beat the Texans. That was a low-scoring 10-7 affair. Lions on a game-winning 59-yard field goal, once again, 30-27 over the Washington football team, the Redskins. Packers by 4. They did not cover. They still won, so that's all that matters to them. 24-20 winners over the Jaguars, who the Steelers will face next Sunday on the road down in Duval. And then also we saw the Giants beat the Eagles 27-17. Before that, bonus coverage of Pack, Jags, and Lions, Redskins on Fox, because CBS has mentioned having Masters coverage earlier on this afternoon. So CBS with the Broncos, Raiders right now, along with Chargers, Dolphins, and Bills, Cardinals. On Fox's 4 o'clock window, it's Bengals, Steelers, along with Seahawks and Rams and 49ers and Saints. Buccaneers beat the Panthers 46-23, excuse me. We witnessed the Colts on Thursday Night Football this past week beat the Titans 34-17. But currently right now going on in the NFL, Steelers at half lead the Bengals 22-7. Raiders up by 7, 13-6 over the Denver Broncos. Chargers trail by 6 on the road in Miami. Dolphins lead 20-14, excuse me. and they are now officially at the end of the third quarter. So it seems like Cincinnati-Pittsburgh is going to be the final early game to wrap up before Sunday Night Football later on tonight with Baltimore and New England. So 22-7 Pittsburgh, 13-6 Raiders, 20-14 Dolphins. Cardinals just scored, so 23-16 Bills on top of Arizona. And then 17-13 Rams on the Seahawks and 17-10 Saints on the 49ers. Sunday Night Football, Ravens, Patriots, and Monday night, as mentioned earlier, Vikings and the Bears. And later on, we'll preview NFL Week 11. It'll kick off on Thursday Night Football. Some highlights now from earlier. Bucks on the road defeating the Panthers 2-0 versus them this year. Brady to Gronk. That connection's been heating up since that Packer game. But wasn't anywhere near perfect for them in any category last week. They got blown out, but they blew out the Panthers today. Packers, there's Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, 24-20 Green Bay over Jacksonville. I'm coming for you, Terry Bradshaw. Yeah, the Giants beat the Eagles by 10 at NFC East. I tell you what, just absolute trash. Pittsburgh still has to face the Washington football team early December.
Delayed 35 minutes because of severe weather. Not a problem. See that? Wouldn't want to be flying in that with you folks. You, not the kid.
Houston and Cleveland.
A close football game, bad weather, bad field conditions.
So Houston getting Cincinnati and Baltimore at home. They had to travel to Cleveland and Pittsburgh, and the Texans with another loss, looking for a new head coach. Washington football team, the Redskins, as they'll always be known as, tied it up at 27, but then Matt Prater from 59 yards out for the win. And the Lions get their fourth win of the season, 30-27 over Washington. And those are first half stats and scores from Bengals Steelers and from around the rest of the NFL this week 10. In the meantime, yes, before the second half begins, from the Steel City down at Heinz Field, just for the hell of it, rather than waiting until later on. Now that I bring up, we'll preview NFL Week 9. We'll do that right now. So, NFL Week 9 will in fact kick off this upcoming Thursday in the NFC West again, with the Cardinals visiting the Seahawks. Both teams down right now, losing. Seattle on the road, Arizona at home, but come Thursday night, Arizona going to be in the Emerald City taking on Russell Wilson, and the Seahawks will be Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson. Once again, they battled it out about a month or so ago now on Sunday Night Football, and what a shootout that was. Went to overtime, almost ended in a tie before a game-winning field goal. So we'll see if these two teams can return the favor. And a 5-3 Arizona team going to take on a 6-2 Seattle team. But if both teams lose, Arizona would be 5-4, Seattle 6-3, and then with the Rams and Seahawks today, whoever wins that could be in the driver's seat. And say Arizona does lose today, and they lose Thursday, they'll be 5-5 by the end of the week, after entering at 5-3 and playing on a short week. But we'll see what happens come Thursday night. That should be a damn good game. I'll have live reactions, both live right here on YouTube. So be sure to tune in. Also on Saturday, Iowa, Penn State at 3:30 now. And then next week, it'll be Steelers, Jaguars, 1 o'clock. And then WWE Survivor Series next weekend, next Sunday night as well. So NFL Week 11, Cardinals, Seahawks, while the Steelers and Jackson will take on the Jags. Always coming down to the wire in that contest, that rivalry too. So don't expect anything less. Eagles, Browns, honestly shouldn't be that bad of a game. We'll probably have a side-by-side live reaction play both of those games with Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, and Philadelphia, Cleveland, but don't mark my words. Falcons, Saints, Bengals, Redskins, Lions, Panthers. Titans, Ravens should be a good one. Patriots, Texans would be as well. The connection with Bill O'Brien and Bill Belichick, but Bill O'Brien was fired. The Texans are awful, as are the Patriots this year. But New England plays later on tonight against Baltimore, so we don't know how they're going to be playing this week before that game next week. Dolphins, Broncos, Jets, Chargers should be a shit show. Packers, Colts, that'll be a damn good game. Packers and the Colts, Cowboys, Vikings, and then next Sunday night, the Raiders will be hosting the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. So next weekend, this upcoming Thursday, it'll be Cardinals and Seahawks. Saturday afternoon, college football, Iowa, Penn State. Next Sunday, it'll be Steelers, Jaguars, WWE Survivor Series, and Sunday Night Football with the Chiefs and Raiders, and then also Rams, Buccaneers next Monday night. But in the meantime, we're going to come back and kick off the second half with the Bengals down 22-7 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's how Joe Burrow got injured, banged up there, got pushed out of bounds by Bud Dupree into the bench. And he should be good to go, you would think, to begin the second half. Cincinnati are going to get the football to begin the second half here in the third quarter as they won the toss to the second half. So Pittsburgh on the kickoff right now as they receive to begin the game. 22-7 is where we stand. Neither team has a run game, but both quarterbacks airing it out. Ben for about 140 more yards, though, compared to Joe Burrow. And another touchdown, a few more field goals because of turnovers and sacks by the Cincinnati Bengals. So 22-7 Pittsburgh as we begin the second half.
Hey, Kenny, I have reached out to the Bengals to get an update on Joe Burrow, see if there's any issue. I'll let you know what I hear, but we'll definitely keep our eyes on them. As far as what's going on, Coach Taylor told me we just need to keep our composure. He said we made some mental errors. It's been an unorthodox game, but we get it the second half, and we need to keep our composure. As far as the Steelers, they need to be better on third down offense.
Yeah, third down on offense. Need to execute. Burrow out there at quarterback. He looks to be good to go. 1st and 10, Cincy from the 25-yard line, out of the gun. He's going to hand off. Okay, Cincinnati going to try to establish his run game now in the second half to get back in it. Giovanni Bernard for 12 yards, first down, Bengals.
Composure, that's how you keep your composure. It's always been off tackle. That's where a lot of the success for the Dallas Cowboys and the Ravens came on this Pittsburgh defense. Run off tackle as opposed to trying to run it up the gun of the defense. And if you continue to do that, that's going to set up the play action for Joe Burrow offense. It took the Bengals 4 drives
from the 36. Burrow, deep down the far sideline, has a man and overthrew T. Higgins, incomplete.
Second and 10 coming up for Cincinnati. Their scoring drive in the second quarter, 8 plays, 90 yards. Only 113 yards combined on their other 6 possessions. And that's why I go back to how are you building the Cincinnati Bengals team? If you're going to be a pass-first team, you have to understand that a lot of it is based on rhythm. The quarterback is on. If the receivers are on the same page, I mean, there's a lot that goes into passing it to try to do it consistently. Second and 10.
Burrow complete to Bernard from the Santa Claus trilogy. And he gets only about 3 yards, so third down and 7. Two-step drop, Burrow. Complete notes dropped by Tate at midfield, incomplete. Joe Hayden on the coverage, 4th down for the Bengals. And Cincinnati on their opening drive in the second half, just as they punted on their opening drive in the first half, they're on the punt once again.
Joe Hayden is a savvy veteran. You're not going to complete these consistently against one of the veterans like Joe Hayden. You either go to somebody else. On the flip side, Ben Roethlisberger is the one that's been going to Tony Brown and experience. That's where he's been having a lot of success. Joe Burrow understands that as he gets better and he gets more experience.
Huber waiting on his 25.
Pittsburgh bringing a lot of pressure, almost blocked it again. And it's going to bounce around the 28-yard line. And then Cincinnati's going down to the 23 after a few-yard bounce there. So Pittsburgh going to get it back up 22-7. First time in the second half, though, after the punt on the opening drive by Bengals. 22-7, early third quarter. Steelers.
We're using a speakerphone in the store. Is that a good idea?
One of the ways I do that is to get them out of the home. You're looking for a grub brush.
Regardless, did he ask for your help? No. We all see it. We all see it.
And in the meantime, we have an ongoing situation. Drew Brees could potentially be injured. Could also just not be playing in the second half. They're just sitting him out with a lead. Even though it's only a 7-point lead, they might feel, hey, we can beat this team without Drew Brees in the second half. But when Jameis Winston starts the second half for the Saints, along with Taysom Hill in at quarterback, with Drew Brees still on the sideline in his uniform, there's something up. We just don't know exactly what. So, wish him best of luck. Hopefully he's not hurt by any means. But not a good sign right now for Drew Brees not playing quarterback for the Saints in a close game, just coming out of halftime. So, we'll have to keep an eye on that, see how that shakes out. But Jameis Winston, the former Buck who beat his former team for the second time last week as a backup quarterback in New Orleans, now backing on Brees, starting the second half against the 49ers.
The lack of control over my business may be a little intense, but now QuickBooks helps me get paid, manage cash flow, and run payroll. And now I'm back on top with Koala Kai.
Intuit QuickBooks, official sponsor of the NFL. It's an episode so unbelievable, it's got everyone singing out loud. Only I can see your voice Wednesday after the Masked Singer on Fox.
Today's game is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, and motorcycle insurance.
Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals trailing the Pittsburgh Steelers 22-7.
Pittsburgh 1st and 10 from the 24, and off to James Conner. You get why Betty Snell hasn't been in. But Conner stuffed the line of scrimmage. They give him a yard, 2nd and 9. Neither team has a running game. You have to have a running game in order to win in the NFL. You have to be balanced. I don't care what level it is. You have to be balanced. But regardless if you're not running the ball well and you're throwing it well and you're leading, I mean, at least you're doing something right. And, whatever happens after that happens. Good play there by Miami. Good play call. Tua on the play action under center, rolling out near side, and the tight end open, rolling out far side and back corner of the end zone. And Tua going to be undefeated as a starter of the NFL, it looks like, after today, defeating Justin Herbert and Chargers if that stays put. 26-14, I do believe, Miami now on top of the Chargers. Ben complete near side, or did that short hop it? Juju Smith-Schuster, they say caught on 3rd and 8, but he's short of the first down. So 4th and 2, and Pittsburgh on the punt. So Here we go again. It's turning into another punt contest, just as it did early in the first half. As we're not even 5 minutes in the third quarter, and back-to-back punts on back-to-back opening drives by both these teams in the second half. 22-7 is still where we stand, with Pittsburgh leading Cincinnati. I'm waiting for a blocked punt. Both these teams have been able to get up the gap and bring some pressure on respective punters. Now we got a flag and got a delay of games. They're going to back Pittsburgh up, whether they want the free 5 yards or not, to be able to pin them deep. It'll be delay game on number 4, Jordan Berry, the punter of the Pittsburgh Steelers. It'll remain 4th down, yes, 4th and 7. But he's got a cannon of a leg for the brand, so see where Cincinnati's going to get it at on the return. Back at the 25-yard line. To return right now is Cincinnati, so Jordan Berry punt up and away. It's going to be caught at the 15-yard line, and then he's brought down right away. Speared, that's Dangerfield, right? No. Justin Lane out of Michigan State on the hit on the tackle right as they caught it. And 1st and 10 Bengals from there from the 15-yard line when we return after the Steelers punt. Good coverage, good hit, big hit.
picks up messes quicker and is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less. Bouncy, the quicker picker-upper.
No matter what sometimes keeps you up, Nature Made helps you win the night. Our extended-release melatonin helps you fall asleep and stay asleep. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
Today's game is sponsored by Lennox. We put the home in home team.
Top 3 quarterbacks selected in this year's draft. Joe Burrow by the Bengals, Tua Tagovailoa by the Miami Dolphins, and Justin Herbert. Tagovailoa and Herbert facing one another today. Out of Miami. The Bengals offense starting.
From the 15, 1st and 10, Cincinnati. And Bernard going to get 4 yards or so. The second down. Yeah, they take a look at Burrow, Tua, and Justin Herbert. And, everyone's saying Herbert's going to win Rookie of the Year. Right now, I still think it's Burrow. But I did pick Tua at the start of the season, and Tua's going to be undefeated after today. It looks like I said, as a starting quarterback in the National Football League. So don't be shocked if it's, going to be a 3-way tie between those 3 quarterbacks. all rookies from LSU, Alabama, and Oregon, respectively. Won 5 and 6 in the draft this past year. So we'll see how it all unfolds. You know, why they're going to play the games, of course. But I'd say Burrow still has a slight lead, even if Herbert's putting up numbers. But Tua is playing damn well right now, and so are the Dolphins. Bernard on 1st and 10, another yard for him with the gut. 2nd down and 9. Under 10 to play here in the 3rd.
Just saved about a 15 to 20-yard gain. That hole was open, and T.J. Watt came crashing down the side, and that's what I love about T.J. and Bud Dupree. They do a great job, not just in the pass rush, as well as the running game. Look at him just go right down the line, understanding Joe Burrow's not going to sneak it out for a boot or a zone read. That's just great team defense all around by Steelers defense.
Over the middle, a little too high and a little too far for both Boyd and Higgins. Incomplete over the middle from Joe Burrow. Would be 3rd down and 9. Big 3rd down here, honestly. I mean, I get Cincinnati's down 2 possessions, down 2 scores, but nearing the midway point here in the 3rd quarter, you know, Cincinnati's had 2 good drives, one ended in a touchdown, one ended the half because of another sack, and then the time ran out on them. They punted on their opening drive here in the 2nd half. Burrow complete, it looks like. They have both feet in. Tyler Boyd, they say incomplete, far sideline. Incomplete. Burrow put it only where he could have went up and got it. He came down with it, had his left foot in, and that might be a catch. Did he maintain possession? Did he control the football as he was going down the ground? That's tough. He's going out of bounds. Yeah, I'd challenge that, honestly, if I'm Cincinnati. They're going to win that. That's a catch. That is a catch. As Cincinnati was about ready to punt. Yeah, that's a catch. That's a good challenge by Zach Taylor.
Cincinnati is challenging the ruling of an incomplete
Yep.
pass.
Thank you. We know that. Left. Right. That's a catch, but the question is, yeah, and he did. That's a better look at the other one. Did he control it? Did he maintain possession as he was going down to the ground, out of bounds? They rolled it incomplete, so they have to find undisputed video evidence to return it. They'll have it, I think. That's going to be a catch and a big 1st down on a big 3rd down for the Cincinnati Bengals. Like I said, you know, their opening drive here in the 2nd half, they had to punt, and they're about ready to punt again because of an incompletion. But a challenge. It should overturn it, I would think, and they'll keep the ball. If they can keep this drive going, drive and score, cut it to 7-8, get back into it, stop Pittsburgh on offense, take it to the 4th quarter, this game might be coming down the wire again, honestly, even though Pittsburgh's right now leading midway through the 3rd quarter at 22-7. Pittsburgh, both these teams have to get run game going. I tell you what, if you can't run football, you're not going to win. Like I said, if you're passing the ball as well as Pittsburgh more so than not is compared to Cincinnati, but Burrow's passing it damn well too, you know, okay, like whatever. Like, we'll just win like this. Play good defense then. Hopefully, at least. But when both teams are throwing as well, you know, somebody's got to give them the secondary. Somebody's got to cover better. Somebody's got to step up. So I think they're going to overturn that. I think that's a catch. Let me know in the comments below what you think, but I think that's a catch. I think they're going to overturn it. Cincinnati's going to keep the ball. It'll be 1st and 10 from around midfield, I think, where the ball's going to be spotted at. Nice pass there by Burrow. A little high, but Boyd went up and got it. Got his left in, got his right in, right at the last second, and then by the looks of it, he was able to control it and maintained possession as he went down to the ground out of bounds. So after the incompletion, I think they'll overturn, and it should be a catch and first down for the Bengals, down 22-7 here in the third quarter. So once again, thank you for tuning in and watching my live reactions play-by-play. Like, follow, and subscribe. Links in the description below. The thumbs up button. If you haven't done so already, red subscribe button as well. Share hashtag NFL, hashtag Bengals, hashtag Steelers, and chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers. Always greatly appreciated. That call stands. So they still say incomplete. I'll take it. All right. I honestly thought that was a catch, though. They didn't have enough, they thought, to overturn, so it's going to stand. Still a good challenge by Cincinnati. They're going to lose that. They have one left. They have 2 timeouts remaining now after losing a timeout as well. So 4th and 9 from the 32. Cincinnati on a punt for the second time here in the second half after 2 drives. It's a punt contest, honestly, once again here early on, like I said, as it was in the first half before both teams got rolling. And the ball came out late. Cincinnati says they have it. But Pittsburgh on the return, they recover. Steeler football 22-7, but there is a little bit of a pile up here, and the refs are going to signal that it is first down for the Steelers, it looks like, because Bengal defense is out on the field. First down, Pittsburgh. So they rolled them down before the ball came out. I mean, hell, Cincinnati could challenge again. Back-to-back plays. They could challenge. I don't think that's happened lately, if ever. That ball was out. That's a fumble. Cincinnati's got 2 back-to-back plays, arguably. They could challenge. They did, and they lost on the first. They should have won. They could challenge this and win this, and they could get the ball back, but they say he was down, forward progress, they blew the whistle, Pittsburgh going to keep it, 1st and 10 from the 33, end around to Chase Claypool, so they can't review it, they can't challenge. So Pittsburgh with the ball, no gain on the play. Cincinnati should have a first down right now, they don't. Punted, should have caught it off the fumble, they don't. Pittsburgh ball, 2nd and 10. And empty set 5 wide. Hit Ebron, he's right there open. And it's going to be incomplete over the middle. 10 for Juju, 3rd down and 10. Another update, Cardinals storming back. Kyler Murray. And they take the lead. The Cardinals down 23-9, now lead 26-23 over the Bills. And then, depending on what happens with Seattle and LA with the Rams, gonna, regardless, still be a good Thursday night game with Arizona and Seattle. But now with potentially both teams, as Roethlisberger hits Claypool for a gain of 11, first down Pittsburgh. Rather than both teams potentially losing today, both teams could be winners at 6-3 and 7-2, I do believe, for Seattle. And whoever wins that game then is going to be in the driver's seat in the NFC West. 1st and 10, Pittsburgh after the Claypool catch. 22-7, 7.5 to play in the 3rd. Another empty set, 5 wide. Ben, quick slant over the middle, it's complete. And James Conner for a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Better teams, and when I talk about better, not necessarily scheme, the players. When you have legitimate corners that can lock down the Chase Claypool, Juju Smith-Schuster, you're going to...
Empty. That's the only formation you see in football anymore. Empty set, everyone out wide, 5 wide, quarterback in the gun by himself. Pump fake by Roethlisberger, and then complete near side. Nice catch there by Claypool, they're going to say incomplete, though, as they did on the Bengal incompletion. That was a catch that they challenged and didn't win. So take a look at this here. See, it was a completion from Ben to Claypool for the second time in this drive. That's a catch. Had both feet in, but looks like the left one out of bounds, so a little bit before he could drag them both. So incomplete. 3rd and 2. That's probably a good call. Ben has all day to throw. Going to Ebron, just lofts it up there for him, and Eric Ebron comes down with it. Another big first down pickup for the black and gold. First down, Steelers. Now he's going to come out, banged up a little bit. He stood there at the line of scrimmage. He inched his way on downfield for a few yards, but then decided to turn and come back the other way, far side, and then Ben just threw it up there for him, and he came down with it, and first down, Pittsburgh. Yeah, Ebron down and out, maybe. They don't have any other tight ends. Yeah, Zach Gentry, who knows if he's active today. I don't think he's been active all season, but Vance McDonald was inactive today because of COVID. Pittsburgh taking a shot, incomplete, intended downfield to Chase Claypool again for the 3rd time in this drive. And he might have hit his right side, his right hip. He hit the ground hard coming down on that catch. Yeah, he should be fine. Yeah, he's already back in the huddle, for God's sakes. I'll come out for a play. And he just got the one knocked out of me a little bit. Lost my breath. But I did catch the ball again for another big first down, so that's all that matters. 2nd and 10 after the incompletion to Claypool. Second half, past 2 weeks now, no run game. None. It's empty, 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 and Ben's just airing it out to anybody and everybody that wants to get open that's wearing the respective jersey.
Juju Smith-Schuster, he had James Conner underneath. That's the beauty of the way that the Steelers run their empty package. There's always an underneath route, effectively a check down route. And James Conner was right there, could have taken it. He would turn it over for 6 or 7.
3rd and 10 after another incompletion.
Eric Ebron's right there again. I can see Chase Claypool come down the bottom. I'm sure Ben Arthur's going to go to him.
Ben going to roll out near side, has a man caught, first down at the 23. First down, Steelers, and then maybe a little bit of a late hit, but Juju Smith-Schuster once again on the reception. Hell, Deontay Johnson had 100 receiving yards at halftime. Gone to him at all in the second half, so keep an eye out for him on this drive to potentially close out with another touchdown. But Juju should be nearing 100, you would think. Along with Claypool potentially as well. Ebron with a few catches. And that's what I was saying at halftime. You look at the stats, catch here, catch there, but they're not for only a few yards. They're big gains this time around. Handoff, James Conner. Okay, we're on the football now. Thank you. 11 yards to the 11 for him. First down, Steelers. They'll have 8 tries now to get it in. Hopefully they'll punch it in with a touchdown compared to a field goal. Make it 29-7. And now they have first and 10 from the 11. And honestly, they on offense for Pittsburgh for the most part, quick, high-paced, high-powered offense, fast, NASCAR-like. Pump fake by Ben, again. Has a man back of the end zone. It's a little too high, incomplete for Juju Smith-Schuster. 2nd and 10 from the 11. And that would have been a good pass, yes, but an even better catch from Juju if he was able to bring that one down, but just a little too high. And incomplete. Now 2nd and 10. Finally a running back in the backfield to his left out of the gun. Ben pump fakes over the middle, caught at the goal line, touchdown Steelers. Chase Claypool for 6. You get a touchdown, you get a touchdown, you get a touchdown. Ben Roethlisberger now with 3 passing touchdowns to 3 different receivers against the Cincinnati Bengals this afternoon. 28-7 Pittsburgh, pending Boswell's extra point. So Ebron's next, and then James Washington and Ray McLeod. Let's get Ben to 6 touchdowns today. No, they'll run the ball in the 4th quarter and run the clock out, which is a smart thing to do. Play it safe. I mean, you're undefeated. You don't need to risk, anything worse, that could potentially happen.
I just go back to when we were talking with Randy Fickner, Mike Tomlin, how they just love Chase Claypool.
So 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals, and another extra point up and good by Chris Boswell. It is now 29-7 Pittsburgh on top of the Cincinnati Bengals. Steelers lead by 3 scores. 4:22 to play in the 3rd quarter as Pittsburgh leads by 22. Thanks once again for tuning in and watching. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. The link's in the description below.
Dinner time is my time to shine. Grab some piping hot chicken, young man. Much better than microwave hot dogs. Right, Dad? Eat up. I'm doing the cooking tonight. So pick up a KFC $20 fill-up today. Hulu has live sports.
Really? My bad. But we can't shoot commercials right now. So Hulu put our faces on some other guys' bodies. Just look at the quads. Y'all said we could spend less time filming commercials, so Hulu got some rando to do it for me. Take from me, deep fake Saquon Barkley. And me, Baker Mayfield's face on not Baker Mayfield's body. Hulu has live sports, plus the largest streaming TV library. That was weird.
Can you hurry up? The game's starting. Here we go. Oh no. Can you call? Well, I don't want a bigger bundle. What are these fees? I don't want to sign another contract. I literally just wanted the game.
Enough is enough. T-Mobile is changing TV for good. Introducing T-Vision Live. 5 news and sports with no annual contracts and no exploding plans. Switch to T-Mobile now and get 4 lines unlimited with T-Vision Live TV included. All for just $40 a line. Finally, TV done right.
Download the Fox Super 6 app. It's free to play. Answer 6 questions by 5 p.m. Eastern this Thursday to win $25,000 of Terry's money.
Today's been sponsored by USA Insurance, an official insurance sponsor of the NFL.
Pittsburgh Steelers extend their lead. A 12-play, 67-yard drive. Roethlisberger to Chase Claypool, who is 6 years old when Ben Roethlisberger made his first start in the National Football League.
See, you made Ben feel old, but you really made me feel old, because me and Ben were in the same draft class.
Exactly. 2004. And speaking of Ben Roethlisberger, it was a challenging week. Was only allowed in the facility to take his daily COVID test due to contact tracing, but making it look easy today. Over 300 yards in the air and 3 touchdowns.
And Mike Tomlin referenced he had no issues with Ben Roethlisberger not taking the practice reps. He's done it before. When he had his ankle injury, he didn't take practice reps. He still played well. But the defense set the tone today. They took the ball away. They stopped. They had sacks. Everything they needed to do to set the tone. And as Mike Tomlin referenced, establish a relationship with Joe Burrow early on.
Always love talking to
Joe Burrow over the middle, incomplete. Roethlisberger not practicing because he was on the COVID-19 protocol list. Didn't practice at all this week. Got tested every day, but didn't practice. And then they put him on the injured list on Saturday, yesterday, after taking him off of the COVID list on Friday. And today he's just showing out. So, I mean, practice or not, he's thrown for 3 touchdowns, almost picked off there. by Minka Fitzpatrick. Surprised, honestly, Burrow hasn't thrown a pick yet. Had the 2 fumbles with no interceptions. And who knows, we could see come fourth quarter with the Steeler lead, Mason Rudolph and at quarterback, Dobbs inactive, so might get to see old Rudy before this game wraps up. But nonetheless, practice or not, Ben 300+ yards and 3 passing touchdowns to 3 different receivers today. 3rd and 10 from 25. Burrow complete near side. AJ Green, but they say incomplete, out of bounds. He caught it, bobbled it, right foot's in, caught it, and then left foot just out of bounds. That's incomplete. That's a good call. So now Cincinnati on to punt once again. Ray Mysterio McLeod back deep to receive. From the 30, he's going to field it. He's going to lose about 6 yards. So 1st and 10 Steelers back at the 24-yard line. Pittsburgh today, I get they're playing Cincinnati. For the most part, they are looking damn good all over, in all phases. Unstoppable. The offense, they can't run the ball okay. That's the only downfall. But we've seen in games when they can't run the ball, late in the game, they've been able to run the football when they've needed to. So we'll see if that'll be the case today with 3:57 play in the 3rd quarter. Out of the pistols, Ben Roethlisberger. He's going to hand off James Conner. He's going to get about a yard or so. But Ben airing it out for 300+ and 3 touchdowns. The defense with a few sacks on Burrow. They can't really run the ball either. 2 turnovers with the fumbles. So not perfect by any means, but at least it's not coming down to the final play of the game for the 4th week in a row and giving every Steeler fan out there a heart attack again. So here we are, 2nd and 9 from the 26, and they're empty set 5 wide. And it's 29-7. Ben gonna pump fake, looking to go deep, but then he's just gonna loft it up once again for Juju Smith-Schuster, and then a flag comes in for a defensive PI, defensive pass interference, on the Cincinnati Bengals. So this will be a 15-yard automatic first down for Pittsburgh Steelers. Should be a spot foul. Pass interference, defense, spot foul, 15-yard automatic first down. So they're going to spot it at the 43, somewhere in there, I think. There's a spot foul, 41-yard line, 1st and 10. Ben out of the gun once again, looking to throw. Get him to 500 yards like he did against the Colts back in 2014. Where he also had 7 passing touchdowns that game. He's thrown for 500+ since then, but don't have as many touchdowns per game. But he's getting the ball out faster than ever this season. He looks as good as he's ever looked, and he's won 2 Super Bowls before. And they're undefeated for the first time ever. And they're last unbeaten in the NFL. So you add all that, something's got to give eventually, but arguably they are the best team in the NFL. Regardless of win-loss, even with, as mentioned earlier, slip-ups here, not playing a full game, but still winning. And a win's a win, I'll take it. Got to be able to run the football. They have to find a running game in the second half of the season if they expect to win in the playoffs. And I'll say that now mid-November, before 2 months rolls around, come January in the new year, playoff time. They have to be able to find a running game. So we got a penalty. And now an update. Drew Brees back in the game. Or actually, sorry, they were showing the replay of him being injured. He's questionable return, has not played in the second half. Sean Payton says, okay, sit on the bench. We're good to go without you. We'll still beat the 49ers. They lead by 10, 20 to 10 now in the third quarter. But Brees hasn't played since the first half. Questionable with a rib injury. You can see him there, his right ribs pointing, talking to Sean Payton. Like, you know, they're hurting. I'm hurt. Like, there's something wrong. So too many injuries in the NFL once again this year. Hopefully he'll be good to go moving forward. But Ben on second down, incomplete down the middle. Third down and 9 now from the 42, 29-7 Pittsburgh. Pump fake. Ben going to go deep. Has the man in Claypool. Just a little too far. Incomplete. Ben also took a big hit on that play as he got rid of it. Surprised they didn't throw a flag for roughing the passer, or even a pass interference for that matter. But good no calls when it's said and done. You see the replay. There really wasn't anything, you know, that bad there. But a lot of Ben's. So Jordan Berry on the punt. You know, they're up by 22. You can punt. Take the completion. It's not that big of a deal. Touchback in the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 Bengals with 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. But for the most part, yeah, okay. Ben's gone to Claypool a lot so far this season. He has a few touchdown catches, a few touchdown runs as well, rookie out of Notre Dame. But a lot of Ben's incompletions, you go back and think about it and look at it. They've been to Chase Claypool. Whether it's been the right or wrong route, the communication's been a little misunderstood, a little miscommunication there. Not by a lot, but it's either been, you know, overthrown him or underthrown him just by a hair, or Claypool, you know, making a move here or there, trying to get open, but then Ben goes somewhere else because he saw something different. But, you know, he's still a rookie receiver, and he's still playing this game good. So, you know, you got to take the good with the bad and the ugly. So, and nothing by far this season has been ugly for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, a few bad plays here and there, like what the hell are you doing? That of course led to, you know, the final play of the game past 3 weeks with the game on the line. You know, they honestly could have lost all 3 of those games. You know, they could be 5-3 right now, and they are 8-0 in the NFL for the first time ever in franchise history. 2nd and 4, Burrow over the middle, incomplete, far side, more so than not. Intended for Giovanni Bernard. Yeah, you got 2 Ohio quarterbacks in the AFC North with Burrow and Roethlisberger. A 15-year age difference, but both were first-round picks. Top 11 overall, Burrow number 1, Ben 11th overall. And Ben went to the MAC, went to Miami, Ohio, small school. Burrow, Ohio State, transferred to LSU because he got beat out. And Heisman Trophy last year, national champion, number 1 overall pick. Rest is history for the time being. Bengals, another 3 and out. Credit the Steelers defense just all day. Stopping the run, getting to Burrow. I mean, he hasn't played bad, but the 2 turnovers with the fumbles as well, the sacks, some passes just not being there, but they're covering as good as they've probably covered all season, honestly. But he is a rookie quarterback. Like last week, as Garrett Gilbert got his first ever start, Gilbert and Burrow, you put them head to head, I'd have to give the edge to Garrett Gilbert last week. But Burrow's, I think, today played more consistent. He's been more effective. The running part, Garrett Gilbert wins in that category. just comparing the two. But, credit the Steeler defense. They're holding down the fort again, and they're making plays, and they're getting off the field and allowing Pittsburgh to get back out on offense and drive and score. And no wonder Ben Roethlisberger has over 300 yards passing today and 3 touchdowns to 3 different receivers. Regardless if they can run the ball or not. They need to find a running game, though, here closing out the third quarter and entering the final second half of the season. Ben going to go deep down the far sideline, has a man chase Claypool again, and it's going to be incomplete again. And that was in the double coverage. And, okay, he took a hit coming down, but a lot of deep shots, a lot of passes to Claypool, like I just said. Incomplete. Whether they're drops or not, more so than not, they're just basic incomplete passes. Good coverage by the defense of, whoever their opponent is. So now 2nd and 10 from the 26. Play clock winding down. Could be the final play of the third quarter. We'll see. There's 30 seconds left. Ben over the middle is going to be caught by Juju. He gets hit hard. Gets back up, though, and then gains about another yard or so. Pick up with 9. So it'll be 3rd and 1. And Pittsburgh's just going to let the clock run out to close up the third quarter. So the Steelers to begin the fourth. Up 29-7 against Cincinnati Bengals here this afternoon. We'll have a 3rd and...
Let's go! Again? There's a meal for every moment at McDonald's, especially when you buy one of your faves and get another for just $1.
It's a Simpsons murder mystery.
I'm a person of interest. That's ridiculous. You've never been a person of interest.
See it first tonight on Fox.
GLC 300 SUV for $469 a month at the Mercedes-Benz Winter Event. Hurry in today.
At times like these, we lean on each other. Family, friends, neighbors. We're united in the fight. Geisinger was born more than 100 years ago in the face of another public health crisis. We beat that one, beat this one too, by doing what we've always done. Provide world-class health care to our neighbors and friends and their families. Long live heroes. Long live everyone.
PA has a common enemy, COVID-19. We can win this battle, but it's going to take all of us working together to protect our families, our communities, and our future. We need every Pennsylvanian to mask up and app up. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds and maintain a safe social distance of 6 feet. Because when PA unites against COVID, PA defeats COVID. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Pennsylvania's problem is not COVID-19, it's Tom Wolf and his little sidekick that has, however you want to put it, changed. So 3rd and 1 as we begin the fourth quarter. Hopefully everyone's staying safe though. From 35. Under center, they bring in Derek Watt at fullback, and they're going to run a little play action, and it's almost picked off. Could have been a pick 6. And intended for Eric Ebron, incomplete. Yeah, that could have been a easy pick 6. Good play call though by Pittsburgh, but Ben, he's lofted up 3 too many times now in this second half, trying to get it to his receiver. Yeah, that could have been an easy pick six. 4th and 1, you go for it from the 35. No, you punt. So they punt. It's going to bounce around the 10-yard line, and the Steelers are going to down it inside the 5 at the 2. So it'll be 1st and 10, Bengals from the 2-yard line. We'll check in once this game wraps up. Final stats and scores, of course, along with all these other games currently going on. Who knows? It might even have bonus coverage, but I doubt it. It seems like this game, once again, is going to be the final game from the 1 and 4 o'clock kicks to close out before Sunday Night Football for the second week in a row. So now Burrow under center from the 2-yard line, left to right. Trips top of your screen in a bunch. We've got a whistle. Officially, they mark it at the 3. So 1st and 10 from the 3. So it'll probably be a delay of game or a false start. Okay, timeout by Pittsburgh, but he signals Cincinnati. Steelers call a timeout just to be safe.
With the Steelers leading by 22, they have the Bengals pinned deep. They've allowed the second fewest points in the 4th quarter so far this season.
Well, needless to say, the Bengals have to do something if they want to have a chance to win this game. But I go back to a point in the first half I was talking about as far as the Steelers being the benchmark for the AFC North, right? In the past few years, it's, battle back and forth between the Steelers and the Ravens. And you talk about how those two teams are built, very similar teams. Really good
1st and 10 after the timeout. From the 3, they're now out of the gun. And Javier Bernard, no gain for him. It'll be 2nd and 10.
That's why I said, if you're Zach Taylor, you're saying, fine, I'm going to go against the grain, and I'm going to go with, 4 wide receiver sets, empty package. I'm going to go and rely on my quarterback, and then my defense is just going to have to kind of bend, don't break. That's fine, but it's not winning you games. And if it's not winning you games, then you need to figure out how you can first and foremost win this division before you start thinking about other ways to try and win these other games.
2nd down and 10.
Burrow going to go deep. Underthrows his target, and A.J. Green. Green was just running a quick go route. He's going to keep running. He probably still is. But incomplete 3rd and 10. Burrow, he's banged up by any means, but that was just completely off. There was miscommunication with him and A.J. Green. A.J. Green a non-factor today. It's been T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. Third and 10 from the 3. I'd bring pressure. Get the hell after Burrow. Get a safety. Bud Dupree on the stop on the bubble screen. Gets out to the 8-yard line. But Cincinnati, they've probably punted at least 10 or 12 times now today. So they're on the punt again. I'll have to check to see how many times exactly they punted, but way too many. But credit to the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Getting the hell off the field, and like I said, no wonder Ben on offense has had the day he's had. And I think he could be done. I think we're going to get to see Mason Rudolph here early 4th quarter. Got our flag, so whistle's blown. Ray McLeod back deep. No return. The ball wasn't snapped, and they're going to replay 4th down. Okay. That's odd.
I like that. Probably the first time I've ever heard that, Kenny.
Okay, so Cincinnati on a punt again. Decent punt, filled at the 44 by Pittsburgh. Ray McLeod gonna return this, and he's off to the races. 25-20, and he's going to be brought down at the 15-yard line. I thought he was going to take that to the house. Now you bring Ben out because they have a very, very good skill position inside the red zone, 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Good punt coverage on the return by Pittsburgh. Good blocking, and then Ray almost took it to the house. See who's going to be in at quarterback. 1st and 10, Pittsburgh. And Ben Roethlisberger still in the ballgame. 13-13 to play, 1st and 10 from the 15. After a very good punt return, handoff, James Conner. Now you just run the ball down the throat. Just keep running the ball. For him, 2nd and 7. I mean, he not necessarily getting garbage time, but you know, he's getting some yards that, when it all totals up, it's not going to add up by any means. They didn't run the ball whatsoever today again, but here we are. Chase Claypool motion. You want to go Derek Watt, 44, fullback. Another handoff to Connor. Nothing for him there. 3rd and 8. 3rd and 7. 3rd and 7. 12:25 to play.
And remember when we spoke to Joe Burrow, you know, he was very honest and very candid, and I like talking with him because he said, look, there are times when I don't know the coverage, and then I look back on film and say, okay, take a mental note, and I see that again, I'll be able to perform, or I'll be able to run a different play. And I think he's going to have a better understanding of what it's like to really go against these better defenses. Next time he plays the Steelers, I'm sure he's going to do a much better job.
From the 12, Ben on 3rd and 7. It's caught. 1st down inside the 5. That's Steelers, who are 11 minutes away from going to 9-0.
It just amazes me that we have our, how do we eliminate, how do we stop these plays?
You going to run that end around again to Claypool? Play clock winding down. They'll call time.
Veteran of this receiving group, but certainly I have seen today, I've seen Roethlisberger with Chase Claypool in particular over here on the sideline after one of those deep ball incompletions, just showing him what he's.
So 1st and goal after the timeout. Okay, Zach Gentry in the game at tight end. He's at number 2 behind Ebron because McDonald is on the COVID protocol list. They run it. So 2nd goal from the 6.
Another franchise, another team. So they're not going to say, well, back when I was at this team, such and such. These are all young guys. They're sponges. They're soaking it in. And you can see the progression. Each one of them, in their own right, has gotten progressively better. And Juju Smith-Schuster, I mean, Mike Tomlin, Randy Fickner, they couldn't stop singing his praises about not only his leadership, but when they need a big play, he stepped up every time.
From the 5-yard line. 2nd and goal. 4 wide out of the gun's Ben with Connor to his left. Slant over the middle. It's caught. Touchdown. Chase Claypool. Touchdown. Steelers. And now Pittsburgh with a 4-touchdown lead. 35-7. 36-7 with 10.5 to play. That drive, of course, was set up after the good return on the punt from Ray McLeod. They tried to give it to him on the end around, lost a yard or so, and then a play later from the 5 on goal to go. On another slant over the middle. Ben Roethlisberger to Chase Claypool for another touchdown. Pittsburgh 36, Cincinnati 7.
I've been looking, but I just need someone to tell me what a good price is.
Just use Auto Trader. It's the only one with Kelly Blue Book. It tells you if the price is good.
Hey, how's she doing that with the door? What is she, some sort of goddess?
Athena.
Persephone?
Hera.
Dionysus?
No, I'm Claire.
That one?
No clue.
Ugh.
Transcribe music verse in a song when he got free delivery from Popeyes. Order from the Popeyes app today and get free delivery with minimum purchase. Get everything on your list worry-free with contactless shopping at Target. From same-day delivery to free drive-up. Quick and easy contactless shopping all season at Target.
Go to NFLShop.com and gear up. Sponsored by Auto Trader. Finally, it's easy.
Football, they're ready to go to the club. They're going to meet Kenny at the club tonight. Oh, man, all fun. They're having lots of fun. Deservedly so. Look at that. Listen, football's only fun when you win. That's what I learned. Of all my years playing, it's only fun when you win.
I thought you were going to teach me some of your dance steps.
I got a bad wheel. I can't do all that.
How about these guys? We mentioned the Heisman Trophy winners in this division. And last year, their career record against the Steelers.
Yeah, the AFC North does have three former Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks in the division with Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, and Joe Burrow now. But they don't have any Super Bowls. Last I checked, even if Ben doesn't have the Heisman, he has 2 Lombardis and 2 Super Bowl rings to show for it. Honestly, should have 3, but Aaron Rodgers and the Packers beat him in Super Bowl 45. So.
Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott both in 2016.
Yeah, I'm trying to put you on the spot. I can't believe you knew that, Kenny.
21 and 2.
First and 10, Cincinnati, 10 minutes to play. And also in the meantime, they say that Ben's done for the day. Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer himself, Mason Rudolph from Oklahoma State, warming up. So once Pittsburgh gets the ball back on offense, he'll be in at quarterback. They'll just run the ball. They'll give him a shot or 2 to throw it, but he's not going to do anything.
A couple of sacks by Watt, and 2 takeaways, 1 on special teams and 1 by the Pittsburgh defense, the script by Cam Sutton.
And I love talking with Bud Dupree. He told us that they were trying to do too many splash plays. They need to get back to basics. And he was very
So from the 38, 2nd and 9, empty set for Cincy. And it's going to be caught by Boyd for a pickup of about 3 yards. Hayden on the tackle. 3rd down and 6. 36-7 is the score. Hopefully you picked Pittsburgh to cover. Over-unders right there. And then also hopefully you picked them on the money line. But Pittsburgh going to win today. Still didn't have to play, but they're going to win today. Get to 9-0 for the first time ever, as they're 8-0 for the first time ever in franchise history entering today. So they'll beat Jacksonville, you would think, next week. Burrow goes down for the 3rd time today on the sack. Cam Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, Bud Dupree, Vinny Williams, TJ Watt, everybody on the Steeler defense was there. It was Dupree taking them down, Hayward and Tuitt there as well. But no, you'd think they'd beat the one-win Jags next Sunday. before Baltimore comes to town on Thanksgiving night. And what a game that's going to be. Cincinnati with a fake punt, and they're going to execute it. And off to the races is Cincinnati. They catch everyone off guard, including myself. I don't think anybody thought they'd be running a fake punt. Samaje Perine down the far sideline, and big first down run. Snap it to the up back, but what can you gain out of this? What momentum is going to carry on in these final 7 minutes now when you're down, by 4 scores and, 7 years ago? Not unless they're going to, carry it on into next week, which, okay, I can understand, that if they're going to build, towards the future, which I'd hope they, would. So maybe, but Perine on the run again up the middle, first down run for the Bengals. So after a sack on third down, they punt, but they run a fake punt. They execute it first down, and that's probably the only downfall by Pittsburgh on defense today, giving up that late in the fourth quarter. And then a big first down run play later, another handoff here, stuff the line of scrimmage, so they'll probably get a field goal out of it, get it to 36-10, but it's way too late. Like, if they would have ran that, maybe early third quarter, when they were punting, as they've been punting all day, only down 22-7, maybe they could have got back into it, yeah. Try to get as much control as you can and take it over, but Pittsburgh's controlled, for the most part, this whole entire game. 14 unanswered, shutting them out in the second half, but from the 13, second and 11 are the Bengals. Burrow goes down on the sack once again. Robert Spillane back at the 20-yard line. 4 sacks this afternoon for the Steeler defense on Joe Burrow. If only they could run the ball. Pittsburgh, this is. Cincinnati too, and any team for that matter. But if only the Steelers could run the football, they would literally be the total package right now. With the way they're playing on offense, throwing the football, the way their defense has played all season thus far, they're going to be hard to stop come playoff time. They are. Burrow over the middle, it's dropped to the 12-yard line, incomplete. So fourth down and 17, and, do you kick it? Burrow down on one knee, got hit hard. And he's going to limp off. So I was going to say, well, do you kick it now or do you go for it? Burrow's hurt, so they're going to kick it rather than go for it. It's 4th and 17, so you need 18 to pick up first down. You need a deep ball from inside the red zone. You'd hit a crossing route over the middle, probably be picked off. So Cincinnati just going to kick a field goal after the fake punt. And kick's going to be up and good. So they cut it to 26. It's 36-10 now. But there's only 5 minutes and 5 seconds to play. And, with Pittsburgh going to Mason, we've known it's been over for a while. But, good effort for Cincinnati, by Cincinnati to come back and, try to close out on their end to build off of that. Moving forward, so we'll see what happens. But, Pittsburgh could only run the football, the whole entire game, just not when they needed to, or just being stuffed, whatever situation. Because it's been all that. There's been a few games that are running the ball extremely well, a few games, not so much. Once again today, and then there's some games that they don't run the ball hardly at all, or however good or however bad, and then late when they've needed to run the football, they've been able to run the football. So, James Conner, Benny Snell, Tony McFarland, Jalen Samuels. No Snell today. He's addressed. I saw him on special teams, but he's not running the football. I don't understand why they don't have him running the football at running back. I'm sure he'll come in now because Rudolph's going to be in the game. They'll save Conner. And honestly, if it got to a point next week on the road in Jacksonville Last few times these two teams have met, though, it's come down to the wire. It seems like it always does, you know? And both teams have won against each other before, including in the playoffs. But that was then. This is now. Jacksonville with only one win. A rookie quarterback again. And they gave Green Bay all they could handle. They lost by 4 on the road up in Lambeau. But they're going to host Pittsburgh now next week. If it got to it, now if this was week 17, you know how teams, they'll rest players, they'll sit them out. They know they're going to win and then they lose. Or even if they win, they get the playoff spot, whatever it may be. I'm not saying Pittsburgh needs to rest, because that talk is probably going to come up, honestly, to be honest with you, okay? Because they host Baltimore on Thanksgiving night, a week from Thursday, which is going to be a damn good game, because we saw a few weeks back on the first, came down to the final play. The past 3 games for Pittsburgh have come down to the final play at the goal line on a pass, and it's been knocked down incomplete, along with a missed potential game-tying field goal to force overtime. Now up 26, you know, surefire win here, but I wouldn't say, I'm not saying don't start Ben next week, don't start Connor, don't start any receivers, rest everybody on defense, you know, start Chris Boswell at the end or whatever, you know, don't do anything stupid like that. Just because the way Jacksonville's playing, they've been staying in it. Update with Buffalo and Arizona. Final play of the game with 10 seconds left. Kyler Murray going deep on a Hail Mary, and they caught it. Are you kidding me? Cardinals win on a game-winning Hail Mary at home, 32-30 over the Buffalo Bills. And Kyler Murray's reputation is building. He should be in that MVP conversation now as well, I think. With Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, hell, even Ben Roethlisberger, Patrick Mahomes. What a finish there. Holy hell. Wish I would have turned that game back on there for a second. With the situation, like I said, on the main TV, you know, the Steelers on Fox today and don't have CBS on the others. Got to watch it on this because it's a Steeler game for one. But I could have watched the Steeler game on the others and had CBS on the main, but no, even if it was Bills Cardinals, good game and a great finish. A Hail Mary for the win. That's to be the most exciting finish in a while in the NFL. Kyler Murray, the 50-yard passing touchdown for the win as time expired and the Cardinals beat the Bills 32-30. Wow. So Mason Rudolph now in the game, quarterback. Couple handoffs up the middle. Flag comes in on this play. We'll see what the dirty laundry is from the Zebras. But just do what they've done today so far next week. Came down to it in the second half. You know, if they're up by whatever it is. Mike Tomlin giving the refs an earful, and rightfully so. But
Tomlin was 28 years of age, who was working at the University of Cincinnati. And a phone call came in, and one of the secretaries told Mike Tomlin that Tony Dungy was on the phone. Dungy coaching in Tampa at the time. Tomlin didn't believe it was really Tony Dungy. Eventually offered him a job, and the rest is history.
Yeah, you have a situation where put your backups in the second half and let your starters rest for the Baltimore game on Thursday. That's what I'm getting at. Long story short, they're just telling a story about Mike Tomlin getting hired by the Bucs and then going to the Vikings and then getting a Steeler head job. And Pittsburgh's had a winning season now in every year of his head coaching career. And, you know, yeah, they wanted to fire him after last year and the year before. And now Pittsburgh's going to be 9-0. The last unbeaten once again. And they're getting closer to that 7th Lombardi. 3rd and 17, handoff once again up the middle. Benny Snell from Mason Rudolph, and Pittsburgh just going to run this clock. but it's 4th down, so they're going to have to punt. And we still got the 2-minute warning. Yeah, that's the rest of Pittsburgh's schedule. At Jacksonville, Baltimore, and then, of course, they'll be off in 2 weeks on Sunday because they play Thursday night. And then they go, or they get Washington at home. Then they go to Buffalo on a Sunday night. At Cincinnati on the following Monday night. That's the Monday night before Christmas. And then they get Indy at home to close out the home schedule. And then they go to Cleveland to close out the regular season before the playoffs start. So it's still going to be a tough stretch to the finish, to the end of the regular season before the playoffs start. And who knows if they'll be the 1 seed, the 2 seed, or hell, even anywhere from 3 to 7, depending on if they lose a few games that they shouldn't. Both Cleveland and Baltimore start winning. You would think they're going to win the North, but you never say never. You don't know with how those other teams are going to be playing. But Pittsburgh, if they beat Baltimore on Thanksgiving night, it's probably going to be a for sure thing that they'll win the AFC North. Because then they'll only need, with the head-to-head win against Cleveland already, only need Cleveland to lose 1 or 2 games probably before they play in Week 17. Before officially they'll wrap it up if they beat them again and, you know, win the division, potentially have the number 1 seed, have a bye week. In the new format, it'll be 2-7, 3-6, 4-5 in the wild cards. Only the top team in each AFC and NFC will have byes. And that's going to be key, especially with just how this year's gone and how this season's gone thus far. Don't want to get too far ahead of myself by any means, but the talk's been, could they honestly run the table? Could they finish the regular season undefeated? They're 8-0 right now. Couple minutes, 2 minutes to play exactly, 2-minute warning here from going to 9-0. They'll be 10-0 after next Sunday, but then Baltimore's coming in. That's going to be tough. The Skins are going to give them a good game, you would think, with Ron Rivera, the Washington football team, on that's December the 6th, which will be here before you know it. And then they go to Buffalo on a Sunday night. And last year when they played Buffalo in Pittsburgh on a Sunday night, they lost. Okay, now credit, Roethlisberger was done for the season by that point. And Pittsburgh was still in the playoff hunt, but they couldn't get that game won. They couldn't win a few others, and they, you know, missed out on the playoffs again. But then Cincinnati's going to be ready for them when they go to Cincy on a Monday night, the Monday before Christmas, which will be here before we know it as well. And then Indy's coming to town. They're going to give them a good game. And then they go to Cleveland. And even if the Steelers-Cleveland game with Pittsburgh and the Browns last month, with Pittsburgh stopping the top rushing attack that game and be able to run the football against that defense, and Ben having a good game. He's had good games all season long. You know, Cleveland's going to be ready, you know, this time around. And if, you know, both teams are in situations to make the playoffs, who knows what's going to happen if seeding's on the line and, you know, everything. But there's still a lot of football left to be played. So take it one game at a time. You know, we got 2 minutes to play here. Pittsburgh's going to get to 9-0, and then that's that. And then we move on, and the Steelers will be in Jacksonville next week to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. They'll have to get some help, you would think, from AEW in some way, whether it's, you know, Moxley or Omega or your Le Champion, Chris Jericho, or hell, even Cody Rhodes or Brody Lee, who's been out of action with an injury. Anybody on that AEW roster. Miro, you know, SCU. I mean, this goes on and on and on. Well, the talent they have. Eddie Kingston, Darby Allin, your new TNT champion. The Young Bucks, FTR. The Jags are going to have to get help from AEW, All Elite Wrestling, in order to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers next week. But Jacksonville's not that bad, honestly. I get they have one win, but as of late, past few games, they've been keeping up with their opponent and keeping it close. Like, they just went to Green Bay and only lost by 4. And Green Bay is one of the top teams in the NFC. Pittsburgh coming down, one of the top teams. Top team right now, only unbeaten in the NFL as a whole, but top team in the AFC coming down next week. It'll be close, but it could get out of hand late, as this game has, but we'll see. So we're under 2 minutes to play. 1st and 10, Bengals from the 45-yard line. Burrow just going to hand off again, and 8 yards on that run. 2nd and 2, 36-10 is going to be the final score, unless they somehow magically score here coming up.
The best college football team ever. 2001 Miami Hurricanes.
Says Jonathan Golda, 30
Because he was on that team.
Let me remind you, it was 31-0 at halftime, Kenny. There you go. Who's counting?
Here's Pittsburgh. Second down and 3. As Williams is taken down by Williamson. First 9-0 start in franchise.
So now this game is officially the last from the 4 o'clock slot. Pittsburgh 9-0 for the first time ever, as they're 8-0 for the first time ever entering today, as mentioned. And the last team to start 9-0 and win a Super Bowl, the 2009 New Orleans Saints, as they beat, for the brand, Pat McAfee and the Indianapolis Colts, as he likes to say. Drew Brees' stupid kid was out there celebrating rather than him and his rookie campaign out of West Virginia. But nonetheless, today in Pittsburgh, the Steelers defeat the Cincinnati Bengals 36-10, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are now 9-0. And for myself, like I said earlier, there's no in between with my favorite college football team and my favorite NFL team with the way both teams are playing right now. One's winless, Penn State 0-4. One's undefeated. The Steelers are 9-0. So, hey, it is what it is. There's no in between. It's 2020. We'll see what happens moving forward. But yes, the Steeler game was in fact the last to conclude before Sunday Night Football for the second consecutive week. So Steelers defeat the Bengals 36-10. But then with the other games that just wrapped up, the Raiders came out strong in the second half, blew out the Broncos 37-10 quarterback. He this afternoon, along with Justin Herbert, as we had those two rookie quarterbacks face off. We'll get some final stats from that game here shortly here, hopefully, maybe. But Miami's coming for the AFC East. Buffalo with the loss. I believe they'll meet at least once more, because they already met this season, I think. If not, they'll play twice then. Yeah, Buffalo went to Miami early this season and beat them. Week 1 or 2, I think. But yeah, the Bills then lost on the road against the Cardinals after a game-winning Hail Mary from Kyler Murray. 32-30, Cardinals on top of the Bills. The Saints beat the 49ers without Drew Brees in the second half, 27-13. Rams then beat the Seahawks. On Thursday Night Football, the Seahawks, at home, coming off of a road loss, will host the Cardinals, who just defeated the Bills at home on a game-winning Hail Mary. Sunday Night Football still to come. We got Ravens and Patriots tomorrow night. Vikings, Bears on Monday Night Football. Trying to get these stats pulled up for this game that just wrapped up with the Cincinnati Bengals and Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll turn on Football Night in America on NBC before Sunday Night Football begins here shortly, with the Baltimore Ravens on the road. Lamar Jackson squaring off against Cam Newton and the New England Patriots. So yeah, trying to get these final stats and scores pulled up here for Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and then checking in on Justin Herbert and Tua Tagovailoa. See how they did as Miami won by 8 down in South Beach. But they're coming for that division. We'll take a look at the standings here as well, if these will be able to pop up. There we go. All right. Standing wise, in the AFC East, Buffalo at 7-3. Miami now at 6-3. How updated these are. Check on that. Hold on. Well, if it pulls up the other thing. There we go. I'll be able to know. Okay, yeah, Miami now at 6-3 with the win. Justin Herbert didn't have that good of a game, honestly. He had 2 touchdowns and a pick, but he was 20-32 for $187, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. While Tua Tagovailoa, neither of them really played that well, but they, Tua, for that matter, picked up the win. So Tua was 15-25 for 169 and 2 scores. Take a look at the standings there real quick. Buffalo leading the AFC East at 7-3. Miami right behind them at 6-3. Yeah, they got to play later on. They will meet on January the 3rd to close out the season. So that's going to be a good game. That honestly could be the Sunday night game. That's flexed into Sunday Night Football that week, potentially. Just depends on, you know, what other games are that week. Right now, we'll check in on that as well, just for the hell of it. Steelers, Browns, yeah, Dolphins, Bills, Packers, Bears in the NFC North could come down. Cardinals and Rams, Seahawks, 49ers. I'd have to give the edge to Miami and Buffalo, honestly, right now, for that flexed in Sunday night game, week 17, but we'll get there when we get there. It's only week 10. But yeah, looking at the standings, Buffalo and Miami are going to be making the playoffs of the AFC East. Pittsburgh's going to win the North right now at 9-0. Baltimore and Cleveland could both make the playoffs. And then Indy with the win this past Thursday night on Thursday Night Football on the road against the Titans. They now lead the division, so one of those, potentially both teams, could make the playoffs as well. And then the Chiefs and Raiders are in the AFC West, the top 2 teams. Kansas City, of course, leading by 2 games, but they'll meet next week on Sunday Night Football. So right now, it's Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Buffalo, and Indy as your division winners. And then Baltimore, the Vegas Raiders, and the Miami Dolphins as your 3 wildcard teams. With Miami going to Kansas City, the Raiders going to Buffalo. That'd be a rematch. Buffalo went to Vegas earlier this year. And then the Ravens going to Indy, which they did, that was last week, and they won. And then the Browns, along with the Titans, are right on the outside looking in right now. That's the AFC. And then in the NFC East, it's either going to be Philly, the Giants, the Cowboys, or the Redskins. 2 teams have 3 wins. The other 2 teams have 2 wins. Philly at 3-5-1. The Giants at 3-7 with the win over the Eagles today. And then both Washington and Dallas are 2-7 apiece. So who knows who's going to win that? My God, Jesus Christ. The NFC North, we're seeing some highlights from some of these late games that just wrapped up. Buffalo, Arizona, a lot of trick plays in this game by the looks of it. The Hail Mary for the win. And then also Miami beating the Chargers. Pittsburgh over division, you think. And then Chicago at 5-4. 2-game losing streak for them, but they play tomorrow night, on Monday night, against the Vikings, who have been hot along with the Lions with the win today, as Detroit's at 4-5 and the Vikings are at 3-5. NFC South, it looks like it's going to be New Orleans at 7-2, up against Tampa at 7-3. But New Orleans has beaten Tampa Bay twice this year, both head-to-head victories, which is going to come back into play a little bit later on, as they won Week 1 in the Superdome on the Bayou, and then last Sunday night as well on the road in Tampa Bay in that blowout. Falcons and Panthers are done for, as are the 49ers, probably for the most part, along with the Broncos and Chargers, the Texans and the Jaguars, the Bengals, Jets, and Patriots as well. Those are the teams that aren't making the playoffs. I mean, Patriots could make a run maybe just because they're New England, but I highly doubt it. And then Arizona's leading the division right now in the NFC West. They're actually tied with the Rams at 6-3 because the Rams beat the Seahawks, who actually is a three-way tie for first place. All teams at 6-3. But Arizona goes to Seattle on Thursday Night Football, so that should be a damn good game. And then the Rams and Seahawks, along with the Rams and Cardinals, I do believe, they all still got to play each other. So Week 17 is always matchups in between your division. So on the NFC side of things, for the playoffs, Green Bay is your 1 seed. New Orleans is your 2. Arizona now at 3 with that win. Philly at 4 at 3-5-1. If none of those teams finish with more than 8 wins, which they probably won't, I mean, whoever wins that division is probably going to be 6-10 at best. Whoever wins that division should not be eligible to make the playoffs. That's pathetic. Because you're going to give up, well, you're going to give up that spot to Philly or whoever wins the East, no offense, but over, say, Chicago, Detroit, San Francisco, or Minnesota, who are coming on hot right now, that you match them up, though, they're probably pretty even. But then the Bucs are at the 5 seed, the Rams at 6, over Seattle at 7 because of the head-to-head win today. So you'd have Green Bay on a bye. Seattle would play at New Orleans. The Rams would play at the Cardinals. And then the Bucs would be in Philly taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. So those would be your AFC and NFC playoff standings and playoff picture right now. Right after the midway point, as we'll enter the second half now for most teams following bye weeks. So Cleveland and Tennessee right on the outside looking in the AFC, as are Chicago, Detroit, San Fran, and Minnesota in the NFC. And you'd have Miami play Kansas City once more, the Raiders play the Bills, and the Ravens play the Colts, along with Pittsburgh and Green Bay getting byes, and then the Seahawks playing the Saints, the Rams playing the Cardinals, and the Bucs playing the Eagles. But today, Week 10, the Pittsburgh Steelers victorious once again over the Cincinnati Bengals, 36-10. Joe Burrow was 21 of 40 for 213 and a touchdown, not bad. But they couldn't run the ball; neither team could. James Conner did finish only 13 carries for 36 yards, but neither team could run the ball. Came down to the passing game. Who was going to make, more bigger plays? Ben Roethlisberger was able to do that. Had 333 yards passing on the dot and 4 touchdowns. So Burrow, 21 of 40, 213 in a score. The touchdown was to T. Higgins, who had 7 catches for $115, but really didn't do anything in the second half. Their passing game, they really struggled in the second half. They had Pittsburgh, sort of right where they wanted them at halftime. Then they run that fake punt late in the fourth quarter. It's like, why didn't you do that early? You could have got back in it potentially. But, Pittsburgh, of course, just the better team head-to-head overall. They started out a little slow. It was a punt contest there for a little bit, but then they started out fast. After that, we had 4 sacks on Joe Burrow, the Pittsburgh Steelers did. Had 2 fumble recoveries as well. So, yeah, Joe Burrow was 21 of 40, 213 and a touchdown. Samaje Perine led the way for Cincinnati on the ground, 7 carries for 48 yards. Jennifer Bernard had 8 carries for 30 yards. And then T. Higgins had 7 catches for $115 and a touchdown. Tyler Boyd, 6 of 41. He had a quiet second half as well. They got away from the passing game a lot. They just couldn't execute. Because Pittsburgh on defense, credit there, they brought pressure, continued to sack them, made them get rid of the ball, hit them left and right, incomplete pass here and there. So Boyd, 6 of 41. Tate, 2 of 24. Bernard also had 4 catches for 17 yards out of the backfield. But the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 26-point win, 36-10 at home over the Cincinnati Bengals, their first home game actually in a month. as the past 3 games have all been on the road against the Tennessee Titans, Baltimore Ravens, and the Dallas Cowboys. They'll go on the road again next week, taking on Jacksonville before coming home on Thanksgiving night, take on the Baltimore Ravens again for the second time this month. Ben Roethlisberger in the win was 27-46 for 333 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. Credit to the Steelers offensive line. He did not get sacked whatsoever today. He did get pressured, rolled out, got away, got rid of the ball if needed, or got it downfield for a pass, a completed pass, that is, to whoever he was throwing it to. As he did throw to James Conner a few times, had 2 catches for 12 yards, but Conner on the ground had 13 carries for 36 yards. Benny Snell in garbage time with Mason Rudolph in at quarterback, who did not throw a single pass. Snell had 3 runs for 12 yards. And then Pittsburgh receiving. Look at the stat line. Deontay Johnson, 6 catches for 116 yards receiving and a touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster had 9 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown. Chase Claypool, 4 catches for 56 yards and 2 touchdowns. Eric Ebron, 2 catches for 38 yards. James Washington, 2 catches for 30 yards. James Conner, 2 of 12. And then Ray McCloud, also 2 catches for 4 yards. And Pittsburgh with a 36-10 win over the Cincinnati Bengals. Ben distributing the football to anybody and everybody on that offensive side. And Pittsburgh with the win once again by 4 scores. They'll head on down to Skinner Country next Sunday to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hopefully you'll tune in and watch those live reactions. Play live right here on YouTube. Steelers with a 36-10 win over the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. That'll do it for myself, your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. This afternoon for live reactions, play live right here on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Like, follow, and subscribe. Links in the description below. Hopefully you'll tune in next weekend for more live reactions, play, all live right here on YouTube. It'll be Thursday Night Football, Cardinals, Seahawks, Iowa, Penn State, and college football next Saturday, along with Steelers, Jaguars, WWE Survivor Series, with Sunday night and Monday Night Football next weekend as well. So thank you for watching. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. As always, links in the description below. Steelers 9-0 for the first time ever in franchise history, as they are 8-0 for the first time ever in franchise history. Entering today with another win in the win column, 36-10 over the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. Pittsburgh 9-0. Heading on down to Jacksonville next week, take on the Jaguars. Once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. Be sure to subscribe. Hope to see everybody now next weekend for more live reactions, play, all live right here on YouTube.